All right, are you going to behave? To go to his channel. Oh, he is not live. All right, let's see who is live. Oh, we got JLR, look for tornadoes. Let's see how he's doing.
Dude, they got hit hard here. Something. There's a lot of debris, like a lot of trees, not like leaves and ruts.
All right, I'm going to try this one more time. Welcome, welcome.
They probably got whopped here.
Oh, I had two, now I have one. Hopefully I got this all straightened out.
Dude, now it's followed by fog. Weird.
Oh, what am I doing?
Very, very weird. Alright, looks like it's clearing up though.
All right, I got a couple people back here. Let me know who you are in the chat, please. I want to know who the loyal are that came
degrees.
back.
Weird.
What's going on there? You guys know it's tornado.
No more hail. They got hail there.
Mineral Man. No, there's tornadoes. I think they're in Oklahoma or Texas, one or the other.
Smokes, it's all flooding around here.
Not here, not in Oregon.
It's all flooding out here.
Hold on, let me look over here and see if I can tell where he's at. Oh, he's in Kansas right now. This is JLR. This is somebody that I watch quite a bit for other stuff. He just decided to be a storm chaser all of a sudden. I don't know when this development happened, but here we are.
Cows.
No, I am not in a tornado. Can you hear me?
They got hit pretty hard here.
Give me something in the chat to say that my audio is good. You can hear me.
That was weird.
Can anybody hear me? I don't know if there's just a big old lag in chat or nobody hears me, one or the other.
Let's keep pushing south.
Not sure what's happening right now.
Fine.
Oh, no, don't do this. Okay, yeah, you can hear me. All right, cool. Hey, Simply Newsy. Hey, Mineral Man, welcome. Come on.
Ah! Get out of the road!
Oh, he almost did something.
Oh, that was scary.
Huh. The hell did he almost hit?
See that?
All right, well, I'm glad you guys are here. I've been having some technical difficulties, so I had to restart the stream.
He was hoppling across the road.
I think I've got them worked out now. Only time will tell. If my stream goes bad, I apologize. I'm having connection problems.
That was scary, too. Look, man, they got some serious rain here.
But it doesn't seem to be doing it anymore. I think I got them worked out.
Highway 99.
Yeah, this is JLR Investigates. He is in Kansas. I'm assuming that's what his title says. I'm really into storm chasing, so maybe I'll find somebody that's a little bit more. I don't think there's much happening right now, though, because I just, I think I had Connor Croft on. Let's see if Max Velocity's on. He'll tell me if there's... He'll tell me if there's anything happening. Let's go to his channel. And he is not live right now, so I don't think anything's going on. Fat Patriot is live. Yeah, it looks like just a lot of rain. Oh, this looks like a good one. It's only a short, though.
Get on the floor, out there, back up a little bit.
Hours before the tornadoes start popping off again.
Got a good angle on it?
Hi, babe.
Yeah. Is it coming back at us? We got problems here. We're getting big wind. Get your... Don't go back up too far. Getting major wind. The violet one.
What you got, babe? What?
Want to face it?
Oh.
Just back up on this road, and then you can face it better. Then we have an escape. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, back the mirror out. Get ready. Come out of the lines. The water. Getting bigger too, folks. The cows on the left are fucked. Big problems.
Yeah.
Keep holding them out.
All of a sudden, give me a whole bunch of problems. And restart the stream.
Wow! Look at it! Oh, it's trying to go southeast! Big problem! Pick it up!
Sorry, guys. It's lunchtime. You're gonna
Stay, hold on! Get on the floor, out there, back up a little bit.
Yep. Yeah, that's not gonna work.
Yeah, keep shooting.
Nope.
Got a good angle on it?
Bye.
Is it coming back at us? We got problems here. We're getting big wind. Don't go back up too far.
All right.
Getting major wind. The violet one.
We go back. Oh, here's what everybody's talking about. It's from last night. Yesterday. Yeah, that short was Reed from a different tornado. That wasn't live. So did any of you guys see other coverage of this yesterday? You see the lady, girl, chick, whatever, that got arrested because she rushed the beast out on the road? That was hilarious. There's a shooting in a building where the president is, and her response is, let's rush the president's car. That made a whole lot of sense. So you guys know, oh, I got 7 people in here. All right, cool. Did you guys know he never left the building? Apparently he wanted to go back in. I don't know if he ever did or not. but he wanted to go back in to the ballroom. He never left the building. He was right down the hall in a secure room. It's absolutely craziness. No. And this is like half a minute after the shots came out, and they were showing coverage of Trump was having a conversation, and he didn't even flinch or anything. I don't even think he heard him. Yeah, Mars just told me he didn't end up going back, but he wanted to. He's stuck in the building for a long time. Yeah, and pew-pews are bad when they're in the hand of crazy leftists. But if this was an attempt on the president's life, it was thwarted by a good guy with a pew-pew. Oh, did they say Timmy?
If MPD comes, just direct them to go that way towards the main max.
Okay, we're clear. Everyone's clear. Yeah.
If MPD comes, just direct them to go that way towards the main max.
Must not be talking about Tim Walz, because I didn't see him in that crowd. That's weird.
There was another assassination.
I haven't seen this angle yet.
Inside the Correspondents' Dinner. Right now, people are still taking cover. You can see they have started to evacuate the cabinet secretaries and the president.
Get him up, get him up, get him up. Just get him in the back room. Sir, come with us. Come with us.
Inside the correspondent.
The FBI arrived at the suspect's California home overnight as investigators work to learn more about the shooter and a possible motive. It is still unclear whether a search warrant has been signed at this time or whether the FBI and local PD have been able to go inside and search the shooter's Torrance home, where he lives with his parents, who are reportedly.
Yeah, I wonder if they ever ended up getting anything out of there last night.
Telling Fox News that a Los Angeles judge would be the one signing the warrant in the Central District of California. The FBI arrived at the suspect's California home overnight as investigators work to learn more about the shooter and a possible motive. It is still unclear whether a search warrant has been signed at this time or whether the FBI and local PD have been able to go inside and search the shooter's Torrance home, where he lives with his parents, who are reportedly at the home. The U.S. Attorney's Office telling Fox News that a Los Angeles judge would be the one signing the warrant in the Central District of California. The FBI arrived at the suspect's California home overnight as investigators work to learn more about the shooter.
Junior sat there like, whatever.
It is still unclear
Yeah, he
whether
didn't care.
a search warrant has been signed at this time or whether the FBI and local PD have been able to go inside and search the shooter's Torrance home, where
Yeah, he's a Kennedy. This is old hat to him.
The U.S. Attorney's Office telling Fox News that a Los Angeles judge would be the one signing the warrant in the Central District of California. The FBI arrived at the suspect's California home.
So the other day.
Imagine.
I know you're Antifa.
Are you not?
Well, you just admitted to Antifa.
Who wouldn't want to
Did
be
you think?
anti-fascist?
Did you think I was Antifa?
No. I think that you are a right-winger that are trying to do a gotcha, but why wouldn't you be?
I'm not a right winger. I'm not a left winger.
Okay.
I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. I'm an independent.
Okay.
I'm just a live streamer, born and raised in Portland, Oregon, and I show the truth. Okay. And I just showed the truth, and I appreciate you talking to me. Thank you. So if you want to see yourself on my channel, it's called Veli Ray on YouTube.
That's okay. I'll let everybody else see me.
Oh, they all know who I am. I made Chandler famous. I made Rosa famous. I made Richard Hernandez famous. I made skateboard kids.
And you're talking about
Seth.
You're talking about this in like a negative way, though, right?
No,
like
in a positive. No. This is very positive.
Really?
Yes, this is very positive. Like, I make you guys famous so you can. I know you're anti.
Did you know that there?
After the latest assassination attempt on Donald Trump,
Check it out. Wild video out of Fort Worth, Texas. A trucker hopping out of his rig just seconds before a freight train obliterates his semi. Officials say the truck's trailer became stuck while. Check it out. Wild video out of Fort Worth, Texas. A trucker hopping out of his rig just seconds before a freight train obliterates his semi. Officials say the truck's trailer became stuck while crossing the tracks. And the speeding train didn't have enough time to stop. Thankfully, no one was hurt. Check it out. Wild video out of Fort Worth, Texas. A trucker hopping out of his rig just seconds before a freight train obliterates his semi.
So what is the stupidest?
God, I got a ton.
All right, apparently
the
Trump administration.
Who's this? Is he win? I don't know when this was.
Where's it coming from? Where's it coming from? Downstairs, left, downstairs. Where's it coming from? Over there. Where's it coming from?
Yeah, I don't know, Lewis. I kind of glad he's not dead. Maybe they can extract some information out of him. And if there was more involved than just him being a whack job, then they can figure it out. So a dead person tells no stories.
We got one down.
what the?
Oh my God.
Oh my
Stay down, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, stay down.
Yeah, I just want to know what made him think he could get away with this in the middle of all that. There was so much law enforcement and apparently military and everything there. What made him think he was going to get away with this? I don't think he did. I think he resigned himself to doing whatever and whatever outcome. But that's just my theory.
You can still see the room.
And
No, that's
This Orange County cheerleading coach was
goodness. JD delayed like every third freaking thing on my shorts list.
Deep Thoughts by.
I don't date men
More
anymore.
JD delay.
To protect.
That is insane.
Yeah, I think, I'm not allowed to say the words on here, but I think it was self-unaliving by cop.
That is insane.
But he's going to get shot and killed. Yeah, exactly. People do that on purpose. People want to be unalived by law enforcement. me find something longer to watch. I hate watching shorts. Oh, Brandon will be on it if there's anything there.
Than impressed with that right now. I was starting to head south, but honestly, it looked good to start, seeing those towers going up, but they just didn't get themselves together. And you can see right here, this little line of like showers moving westward, that's the dry line beginning to advect westward. So like you see this whole like line right here, that is your dry line retreating in that direction. And if it's going in that direction,
so I got a couple people in here. What do you guys think about that? I think
unfortunately,
I think he planned not to make it back out of that building.
And
I'm wondering now that he did,
retreating,
what's that going to mean for
stay
him?
up here, in this vicinity, because we've got the dry line up here.
I'm glad he's not dead, because you can't extract information from a dead person.
And we got some cumulus towers up here. We're probably going to have to get east of 35 if it keeps up.
That's funny, Lewis. You've probably seen some where you're at.
So we're probably... Betty, thank you so much for your PayPal donation. We're probably just going to have to get north at this rate, the way we were originally going right before we started the stream.
Holy crap, he put a bright-ass paint job on his rig.
So that's the big thing. Michelle, thank you so much for your super chat. Yeah, I was not intending on streaming today. I'm still not confident in today's overall setup, if I'm going to be honest with you guys. But, hold on.
Copy.
But the only thing keeping...
Yeah, it doesn't look like there's a lot for today on the storm front. Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out, the Betty Johnson thing about it. But I heard some stuff, and apparently his sister,
the fact that
is
boundary, the
some
dry
media
line and all
in
that
DC.
right at the edge, right at the cusp of 35, is just really intriguing to keep me wanting to go in that direction.
And I do know.
I mean, overall, it's a very.
I heard
today is
that
a
apparently
very.
he rented that room
what
a
we
while
always tell you guys
ago,
is a
up to
high
a month
ceiling
ago
and a
or
low
something.
floor, right?
Okay, so there's nothing live, so let's see if I can find. Where's JLR at? He's still just driving in the rain. He's not doing anything. I don't see much going live right now. Fat Patriot is restreaming stuff elsewhere, not Portland stuff. Shane stopped his live, so they must be done where they were at. Oh, this is from yesterday. From yesterday's stuff. Oh, excuse me. That was rude. Sorry, guys. That snuck up on me. Yeah, this is from yesterday's tornado in Runaway, Texas. But yeah, I'm just really curious as to, I mean, to do what he did, we're talking about the Hilton guy, you can't be all there anyways. So trying to make sense of his actions is kind of a futile effort, probably. But there's got to be something to it, some motivation, some plan. Because, like I said, obviously he was a guest at the hotel and had rented the room a while ago, so he had time to think about this and still thought that the best course of action was to run through a wall of Secret Service with a pump action long gun hanging from his hands. I don't feel he was so indoctrinated he didn't know what he was thinking. The left always take advantage of the vulnerable. Yeah. See, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying there has to be something else behind this. At the very least, somebody talked him into this and told him that it was worth a jihad style action. And that's craziness. That's absolute craziness. But somebody, I don't see him with a month to think about it still believing that this was there was some kind of plan to success with this. So that makes me wonder why you would do something like this. What are the extenuating circumstances? What did he have some debt that was going to get paid off by somebody? You know, what enticed him to do this is my question. And yes, I tend to be somewhat of a conspiracy theorist, so I don't think he did it alone. I think there were other people involved in this, other entities that somehow made this worth his while. Because like I said, insanity is insanity, but with a month to think about it, there had to have been at some point where he said, if I'm not alive anymore, what benefit do I get out of this? I do not know ethnicity or religion. Something makes me believe he was Hispanic. I can't explain to you why, but something makes me think he was Hispanic.
Deadly in some parts of our area. We know of at least 2 deaths, one in Parker County and the other in Wise. Runaway Bay battered by the storm. There are down power lines, trees, roofs, debris scattered all over.
Banning
Several people taken to the hospital and at least 20 families
jihad angle
displaced. Our meteorologist Nelly Carino joins
in that
us
specific
now
ethnicity, which
Nelly,
I'm sure would have been promoted by now if that was the case.
What kind of damage have you been able to see? What's the situation there?
What makes a person think that
well, the area with the main destruction is just over to our left.
your intended goal is so dire that you need to extinguish yourself while doing it? Joyce Kirby, that's a new name. Howdy, Joyce. Welcome, welcome.
That area. There have been numerous homes
Why
that
would
have
you
been
think,
destroyed, and obviously we will have those aerial images for you. But
whatever your goal was, and obviously everybody's going to assume that it was another attempt on Trump, whether it was or wasn't, and we don't know now.
Heard the sound of the tornado coming, and fortunately he's doing okay. He's actually headed out to church to give thanks.
What
he's doing okay.
convinced
So
him
with us right now? But I want to show you something important. You notice this snap tree that
believing
is here
that the result of his actions would him not being a person anymore.
Well, because this other tree that's behind me is pointing towards
the north.
And then the one behind
that it was worth
me,
it. I just that's what I don't understand.
It's pointing in a different direction.
Because if you don't like Trump as president,
well, because that shows classic
I mean, do you think you have a savior? Excuse me. Do you have a
here
savior complex, and you think that you're saving the world from him, so it's worth your life? I can't. I just can't plug it into my head and make it compute. It just doesn't work.
This one's facing me. The other one is facing towards the north. And the other one is facing towards the east.
Well, like I said, trying to make sense out of an insane person
because of this debris.
usually just makes you go insane.
We had a classic signature with the radar last night. We also had
See, that's what I'm waiting to find out. And
that rotation coming through this area.
It seems like every time there's a manifesto that appears from somewhere. I honestly don't believe in all of these. I believe some of them are fabricated.
To get that confirmation exactly.
They're planted, whatever, to help promote a narrative.
But they are not ready to comment at the moment. They do confirm, though, that
I don't know if anything. I fell asleep in the middle of the whole ridiculously horrible live streams that were going on at the house in Torrance last night.
I wanted to mention,
so I don't know if anything came out of that or not.
Neighbors helping neighbors.
He might have had an unaliving fantasy as well. Yeah, that is a good point. Maybe he was just that off
and also online.
that he thought he was better off not being here.
Fantastic explanation. Thank you so much. I wouldn't have thought to look at those trees and the direction of them. Thank you so much for bringing us.
But if this just is a really whacked
perspective there on the ground in
instance of
Bay.
TDS, man, that's.
Of course, we are continuing coverage.
And you got to have some. You got to put some of the blame, some of the responsibility on the media and the left-wing screamers and propagandists and all of this that trigger these people into doing stuff like this.
Meteorologist Nelly Carino Trevino was just telling you, police are keeping vehicles that don't
Most people don't just wake up one morning and say, you know what, I think I'm going to try to off the president today.
Those areas because of the down
This is
power
programming.
lines,
this
and
is
it
indoctrination.
frankly
This
dangerous
is
to be there if you don't know what
propaganda
you're
doing its
So
job.
we are thankful that our chopper has been able to launch, get overhead,
And that's
give
what's
us
sad.
a bird's eye view of the damage that we were
But
just
it's
not
funny
able
that
to see in the darkness overnight. Looks like he's
it didn't
zooming
happen to
in on
Biden. It
another
didn't
house
happen to
there
Obama.
that
It didn't
just
happen to Jimmy
looks
Carter.
Like it's been peeled. You can see the exposed timbers of what was likely once a roof.
It happened
know
to
what that house looked like before,
JFK,
but you can see
but
severe damage there.
JFK was not your normal
From the
Democrat.
chopper, looks like there have been vehicles
I think
tossed
JFK
around
went off the
as
farm.
well. That was just and
And
horrifying.
my theory is that his own party did him in, or people related to his party did him in because he wasn't playing ball like he was supposed to.
How many families
That's my
are
theory
no
on
doubt
it.
just shell-shocked and stunned this morning at the suddenness of this loss.
What is that?
Sifting through debris and just figuring out where to go from
What is that?
here.
Someone's beeping.
We know neighbors there are scrambling to support
I don't know what
each
that
other.
was. I just heard a weird
Those who
beep,
came
but I
through the
don't know
storm
what
without losing their homes.
it was.
We know they are doing what they can to support their neighbors who will no doubt need a lot
Weird.
of support in the days
Anyhow.
ahead. We're seeing more houses there with shingles ripped off the roof.
What do you guys?
but the
What do you guys
homes
think? You
still
guys agree
seem
with me? You think
intact
that there's way
as
more
our
to
chopper
this?
moves over to another
And
area.
even if there isn't,
we're seeing vehicles
I
that
still
have been
think that
tossed around. We hope no one was in those
the lefty
vehicles when that
propaganda
storm
machine needs to be
hit.
held
A
accountable for
car
stuff
is
like
always
this.
a very, very dangerous place to be.
Because you
Very
know, if it was the other
severe
way around,
weather.
they
We
would
are
be pointing
going
all
to
kinds
get
of
another
fingers at
perspective on those severe
right-wing
storms. We're
media,
going to
Fox
go out
News,
live now and try to speak with our storm chaser,
right-wing
Jason
streamers like
McLaughlin.
me.
He's also in Wise County in Runaway Bay, again, one of the communities hard hit by this storm. Runaway Bay, about an hour northwest of Fort
Yeah,
Worth.
that is, we don't
Jason,
know anything about the
you're a
family yet.
professional, so you were driving about during the night, during this storm. Tell
I'm
us
wondering,
what you have
there's
been
also
able to
a
see. What
possibility
did
that
you see last night? We also want
if
to
there
know
was a
how you're
Hispanic
doing. We know you have a home in the
element
area.
in his
Good
family
morning.
that maybe he's, you know, went crazy over the anti-ICE stuff and deportations and whatnot.
We're going to give Jason just a couple of moments to get connected.
Damaged.
Yes.
But
And sorry, do I still have you?
we wouldn't be able to
Yes,
find
I've got
anything
you,
out
Jason. Go ahead.
if he was not
Okay,
here
I
anymore.
apologize.
So
I
I'm
cut
glad
out.
that
Yeah, so I'm from here.
they were
We had a
able
lot of tree
to.
damage
I mean,
in my
there's
house. It
a
looked
part
like
of
a
me that
tornado
says
touched
he
down
should have
very
been
close to there and then moved off to
eliminated
the south. It's kind of
at
doing
the
some
incident.
erratic movement while it was there.
But
We
there's
were on
another
live last night
logical
as this
part of me
tornado
that
was
says that,
impacting
you
the
know,
area, and we had
dead
those
men
big
don't tell
power flashes
stories,
that
so
were
we need to
occurring here in
know
town,
some
just
information that we couldn't
directly
extract
west of
from
me, no
him
more than 2 blocks or so.
were he
So again,
unalived.
just a lot of damage. I went through last night from what I could get kind of safely while
So I'm
trying
kind of
to
glad
stay out
that
of
they took
crew's
him in
way,
one
you know,
piece.
before they kind of ran everybody off. And
And I'm glad that
rightfully
the
so, just what I could see,
Secret
the
Service
damage was pretty
agent that
bad.
got
Jason, do you have an
had
idea, because you live
good
there in
equipment
the
on
area,
that
you know
apparently
how
saved his
populated
life.
it is. Can you give us
That's
just
a
your thoughts on how
that's a big
many
plus.
homes
That's
you
great.
think might eventually be impacted by the time, you know, they are able to get out and assess the damage?
You know, with the direct wind damage that happened from the tornado and the
I want to
downbursts
see
and
some
stuff that go on around it, that
actual
was mainly
tornado
on the
footage
west
here.
and the southwest side of town.
I know I'm kind of mixing
originating right near 380, just north.
two things at once here. I'm talking about tornadoes and last night's thing, but there's only so much video of what happened last night, and watching it over and over again gets kind of old. Trying to find some really good footage from the storm chasers yesterday. Okay, so Fox is saying there's a possibility of nighttime twisters. Let's see if it tells us where.
Shifts gears today into today's severe weather threat. Live looks from across our big threat zones today. We are looking into
What was
parts
that
of Missouri
nickname he had? We got
we are
to
going to
look
be
at
watching
that
out for more of
nickname
those
and what it
storms
meant.
as
I
well as
don't know
we
what the
continue
nickname
to
was.
move
I
into
didn't
the
hear
later
that.
half of the afternoon
If
and
you know,
evening.
tell me.
That's when the storms can start to bubble up.
And then,
We do have one severe thunderstorm warning
but
that's on the
I didn't
table.
hear anything about
That's
a
over into
nickname,
Kansas
so
right now, but really
just
that
found in the
main threat
hotel that the guy
doesn't really
checked
pop
into.
up
He was
until
already
later on
positioning
this
himself.
evening.
There
So we do
is
have that
a
again.
there's
level
always a
3 out of
manifesto.
5 when it comes to those
Whenever
severe
this happens,
storms
there's
for
always a
later on
manifesto.
into the evening hours and potentially potentially even overnight as well. So we're watching out for those stronger systems, especially near Wichita, Kansas, Enid, Oklahoma, which we just spoke to David, the mayor.
Yeah, we don't want to see them get hit again.
Also going to be in that level 3 out of 5.
Yeah, Enid is the one we saw film of just a little bit ago.
Also getting in on the mix for later on this evening and into those overnight hours. Really want to make sure you have a way to get those notifications on your phone or with the weather radio, Fox Weather app, completely free. It'll give you those notifications right there if there's a severe thunderstorm warning or tornado warning in your area. Just know where your safe spot is in your home.
Know where your safe spot is.
In case we get one of those nocturnal storms.
Do we have? There's not that many in chat, but are any of you in that area?
That's going to be later on today, especially as the afternoon continues on. It's really potent. I mean, we have these purplish pink colors. That's an indicator that we have a lot of storm energy, which is basically the fuel that these storms can tap into and, well, get stronger and bigger. And on top of this, too, we do have that supercell potential. So we do have a little bit of that shear in the atmosphere, which allows those storms to rotate. So we do have the potential to even
really, the friendly assassin?
Well, that higher potential.
Why would he have a nickname like that?
Parts of Oklahoma as well as into Kansas, Wichita.
Did he have a history of this or something? That's kind of weird. That's an odd nickname.
The overnight hours for tonight, especially late tonight. Now, tornado threat is going to be a level 2 out of 5 when it comes to for folks that are going to be into Kansas and Oklahoma.
Military, special ops, something.
Potential. The atmosphere is going to be primed and prepped where it can see EF2 or greater tornadoes. We can support that in the atmosphere. So it all kind of depends on what's going on later on today, because we do have a cap in place. And what we mean by that, we have a lot of warm air aloft. That kind of keeps that severe threat down. It doesn't allow for the storms to really get too big. But
Haley was surrounded by a huge crowd. Yeah, that was crazy.
It can break
Feds had to win a California judge issue warrant to search. Yeah, and those people were like all up at the front door and everything, taking pictures of everything in their yards. I don't think that was right. I didn't like that. I can understand maybe like standing out in the street or something. You know, it's newsworthy. But these people were being very intrusive to the family, and I didn't like that very much at all.
Large tornado right there to the south, just to our south.
Yeah, I don't like people being intrusive of people that didn't actually do it.
Woo! Look at that stovepipe.
Yeah, that family had to be terrified. And after, you know, if they didn't have anything to do with it, and finding out probably on the news or something that that had happened, and then all the media outside their door directly afterwards, that had to have been crazy for them. 100 miles south of Dallas. Did you, Joyce, Kirby, did you miss the stuff from yesterday? Was it north of you? Because I know that Dallas and Fort Worth got hit with some crazy stuff last night. Yeah, I kind of wanted to be a storm chaser for a while, but I just didn't have the means to do it. Yeah, he was a teacher. I saw that. Yeah. Teacher of the Month award. I did see that. I don't know what it is. There seems to be a trend of whacked out teachers in our country, and that's kind of scary considering we give our kids to them for 8 hours a day or whatever it is. 2 people went up to the door when Quincy was restreaming. Yeah, I was watching Quincy's restream last night. His resume is rescue swimmer. The friendly federal assassin. See, I don't know. I thought that was, yeah, that's what I'm saying, simply that they were being very, very intrusive, and I'm not digging that part. I understand, but I don't agree. You know, that family's got to be going through hell if they weren't part of the planning or whatever. Past similar incidents, families don't always know, but do suffer consequences. Yeah, you're correct, Nicholas.
one from Carolyn Bowling. This viewer sent in a video from Douglas, which is southeast of Enid, of the funnel moving through Garfield County. Very intense to see. Right now in
the one in Enid just skirted the Air Force Base. It landed on the outside at the end of the runway. Just skirted the Air Force Base. That was fortunate for them, but not very fortunate for the development that was across the street.
As the tornado touched down, one of the hardest hit areas was the Great Ridge neighborhood, which is
this is what I'm talking. The Great Ridge neighborhood. It's right across the street across the highway from the Air Force Base, and it just missed the Air Force Base and really took a toll on this neighborhood, really, really bad.
I'm off Gray Ridge.
I've watched extended aerial coverage of that neighborhood, and it's pretty much 85 to 90% gone. It just wiped out that whole hood.
This is just part of the devastation.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how that cop car got all blasted up. I think it was probably a cop that lived in that area, in that neighborhood, because I can't see a cop driving into that at such a point that it would. If you look at the aerial footage, that cop car was obviously thrown against a tree. That's how the roof got caved in, banana style. And I can't see a cop driving into a tornado at that point for that to happen.
It's going to look a lot
bothers
worse
me that these people are so selfish themselves and not their parents, etc. The children, animals they own.
The Enid area after a large tornado.
Oh, you're talking about the perpetrator.
Rob Hagan joins us live
yeah,
from Vance Air Force Base.
Yeah.
Rob, tell us what you've been seeing.
It's bad. It's there's just no good of that.
That's right, Wendy. We're right here near the intersection of southbound US Highway 81 and
okay, I've seen the rest of this one. It doesn't show anything. What they will go through is just sad. Yeah, the family is going to go through hell.
Emergency vehicles. We've seen at least half a dozen ambulances come through here. We've seen emergency vehicles.
Oh, this is live. Do we have anything
Keep in mind,
coming up?
Along this kind of line that we're seeing, we're also going to be watching for maybe some isolated tornado spin up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a look, see if I'm kind of seeing.
Oh, it's headed up towards Kansas City is what's happening.
That we need to be, taking a closer look at. Kind of some broad circulation overall, but
spared yesterday as well.
Right now, as I mentioned, no tornado warning. But we're looking at strong winds as well as hail possible with these two kind of spots that we're watching. Corey?
Well, who should we not judge, Nicholas? Because we're definitely going to judge somebody who did something like they did last night.
Off to the south at some of that severe
That's how that works.
And that considerably worn storm. Lawrence isn't in it, but it's looking south.
Again, if you FAO, if you FA, you're going to FO.
It's kind of tough to
and
tell.
judgment is part of that.
Rain for now, and you can see, look at
it's human nature.
The winds are
That's how it
tough
works.
to make out, but let's see. I almost got a better view looking at myself one of these monitors, but you can see that rain shaft over there. Strong winds, just a lot.
Look at the hail bouncing off the
jump
building.
Back to the radar and show you what it looks like on radar at what we're looking at. So here's our Lawrence cam, looking off to the southeast, I should say, at this severe storm. And you see that white box? And that's extending now into Olathe and Overland Park in the southwestern corner of Kansas City, and really extends all the way in the southwest of Kansas City. We're talking about Johnson, Miami, Franklin, and Douglas counties, all with that considerably warned thunderstorm because of 70-mile-per-hour winds. I also want to add here to our south, kind of our southern counties.
Well, simply we know he wasn't right in the head to do what he did. Something's off there, but yeah, it could be just somebody snapped. It could be
south of I-35. Really impressive pockets.
Suffering from serious indoctrination or whatever. I mean, there's obviously some mental illness there to get to that point to do those actions, but it could be just like a temporary insanity thing. It could be he just snapped. We don't know if if there's a history of it, if it's an ongoing issue for previous years or whatever. But obviously, what he did last night, something's not right in his head.
I'm going to put a query on it.
But that I think I'm with you. I don't label that exactly as mental illness. Mental illness to me is like a long-suffering condition.
query is for this.
I don't think somebody
70.
was crazy one day and you could call them
70-mile-per-hour
mentally ill.
It's not confirmed. This is just what our radar is showing, but certainly gives you a good indication of how strong those winds are and why that they issue that considerably tagged thunderstorm warning because of those 70-mile-per-hour winds. Let's check in on some other packets of strong winds. This is all the way to the south and west. I'm not sure our radar is going to reach it, but let's see if we can get it. See if we can query it. It is far from the radar. It's a little elevated, so it's not at the surface, but it can give you an idea of what can be brought down to the surface, vertically mixing. No, we're not seeing anything, but just eyeballing in here, it's looking like maybe 70 to 80 mile per winds with that cell that's to our south. Let me jump back to the radar.
I don't understand how calling yourself a Christian makes a difference in this case.
That's moving through.
And just because you're a Christian doesn't mean you don't live in reality, and bad things happen in reality. And just because you're a Christian doesn't mean you need to call bad things good.
Douglas, Johnson, Franklin, and
a bad thing is a bad thing.
I think, though, that Franklin and Miami counties are getting the strongest winds just south of the KC Metro. I also want to see if we have any storm reports, right? This is on the ground. These are confirmed numbers. I don't think
and whether it's deliberate or not, it happened and it has to be dealt with.
Mile-per-hour gusts, but
you accused me in a comment earlier of making excuses for people.
And the warning also
I do exactly the opposite. I don't believe in excuses. I believe in accountability and consequences.
Yeah, it looks like we are seeing the crossover right now, the pocket of the strongest winds.
I tell everybody in my entire life.
Of Franklin and southern Douglas, now into kind of along the county line.
Stupid has hurt.
Northwestern Miami.
Every
County,
time I'm stupid, it hurts.
Southwestern Johnson County.
And I'm okay with that because I won't be stupid twice, or at least the same way.
We're seeing the pocket of the strongest winds developing and basically have developed.
I believe in personal accountability, responsibility, and consequences. And every time I do stupid crap, I suffer consequences for it. That's how I learned not to do it twice.
South of Wellsville. Corey had kind of looked at this, but I wanted to look at it again.
And if you don't judge the situation, you can't learn anything from it, and you can't advance, and you can't prevent it from happening again. So judgment is part of the learning process.
And then we'll really hone in right now, streetwise.
I don't make excuses. I don't believe in excuses. I believe in reasons.
Right now, the strongest
I didn't say we did have answers.
This is K33
I'm just giving my opinion on what I know,
so this is K33,
what I've learned so far.
68 south of Wellsville.
And people are going to talk about it. It's a major thing. It's a serious event. People are going to talk about it. People are going to have opinions. People are going to debate and discuss.
And if we query this, as Corey had mentioned, some of these readings were around 70 miles per hour.
None of us here are going to be on a jury. None of us here are the judge. It's not like we have any effect or on the outcome of the situation, but we're still allowed to have opinions and discuss it amongst ourselves. That's not wrong or unchristian or anything like that. It's just human nature to be curious and to want to discuss things and make evaluations.
So this right now, we're looking at a very zoomed in pic. We're in between
some of us may even be slightly traumatized by the event, and this is how you get over that. This is your coping mechanism.
This is where we're seeing
is by discussing it with other people
right now. Overall, though, embedded within the pocket of already stronger winds right now is all the way stretching south of K68.
Yeah, and that would make sense, Lewis. That would make sense that he was on a personal mission to not come back from it.
40-ish miles per hour. So
and that's what makes me curious too, is now that he wasn't unalived, what now?
Let's see.
What's he going to do now that his plan was thwarted?
So 35 miles per
and
hour.
He probably didn't have a plan B. He probably was 100% convinced that he wouldn't leave that lobby
because it looks like the
as a whole person.
Taking a little bit more of a north
and now that he has
track versus the parent thunderstorm that's going a little bit more towards the east,
it creates a whole different situation that he probably wasn't prepared for.
And with that, then it's probably going to travel close up the 35 corridor.
Hopefully that leads to him
crossing
confessing things, and if there's any links to any other people or organizations or anything like that, hopefully we'll find those links and we'll deal with it accordingly.
We're going 40 miles an hour, as I mentioned. I'm going to kind of.
But there's that too. If he was on a mission
more towards the northeast, so this would be going towards
to end himself in that way, then I'm kind of satisfied that he didn't, because
Antioch.
That in itself is a consequence.
426 Richland
And he's
School,
going to be on a
Spring
watch
Hill
now,
around 435, and then
which means he's
Spring
not going to
Hill
be able to
Intermediate
unalive
School
himself
around 435
unless
Street.
he's
So
Jeffrey.
This is going to kind of track towards this kind
So
of southern edge.
that in itself, his punishment has already begun. His consequences are already being felt
As I mentioned,
by him.
Here we are in respect to Olathe. This is kind of
And I'm okay with
further
that.
northwest. Here's the 435 loop. Right now, we're still down towards the south. We're crossing into portions of northwestern Miami County for pockets of some stronger winds. I also want to look up, too, take a look at the winds that are up kind of on the northern side of Douglas County
It
right
just,
now.
none of it really
spot
makes
where we're
sense to me
watching,
right
too.
now.
So
Obviously, it's, only
here's a
24 hours later,
at the Warren spot.
and there's a
We've
whole
got
lot to be
3
learned, but
considerable
as it
tags out
stands
there,
right now, it makes
one
no
now
sense to me at
crossing into
all.
portions of northwestern Miami County and then southwestern portions of Johnson County, Kansas. And then we got one in Anderson County too. So I am going to kind of focus on what's going on closer to the metro, and then Corey can take a look at what's going on down towards the southwest. So we'll kind of go back and take a look at what's going on closer to Lawrence, as I mentioned, on the southern side.
See
of
some
Douglas
winds.
County. And then we'll take it over to Corey, take a look at Corey.
But
what he's got going
okay,
on
so
down
it's
towards the
220
southwest.
here,
once
so
again,
I think that
the
makes it
stronger pocket of
420 in
wind
their
with
time
the
zone.
considerable tag
Oh,
that's
it's
closer to
420,
the
guys.
metro
Look at that.
Is right now crossing over from western
It's 420
Franklin
somewhere,
County into
right?
northwestern Miami, and then a
Oh,
little
it's 221. You
just
missed it.
towards the south of the county line. So here we are, the county line. We've got Johnson County, Kansas there. We've got our northwestern Miami. We've been kind of watching this spot here over the last,
let's go see if we get some
30-ish minutes or so. Not looking
cooler
nearly
stuff.
as impressive as what's currently going on to the south. But
Worst
wanted
tornado
to check
ever
this out.
recorded. Ooh, this should have some
Let me go on the radar.
good footage in it.
Okay, that spot in
Oh, what's
Ottawa,
Copic doing?
that's just towards the east. So we're looking now portions
Oh, it's not going
of
to show me.
kind of right where we
All
were
right,
just
let's go look
looking
at the Joplin tornado. That'll be some good
May
footage
22nd,
to see.
2011.
This is a very dangerous situation. If you are in Joplin, please take cover. Oh, no. All right, it's behind it. Oh, good. Good God.
It's a massive tornado. It's massive destruction.
Have not found anyone alive, only found bodies.
An ordinary Sunday.
Yeah, we get to
became
pay
the
for a trial
deadliest
and
tornado
incarcerate.
of the
Yeah, we get to
century.
pay for it.
That was only the beginning.
Someone is indoctrinated.
What
They may
really
not
happened
even
that
remember what they have done, and that is possible. But
To understand
again, not trying to be
we need to
snarky,
go
but
back
I'm replying to your
2011.
comment earlier. Who sounds like they're making excuses now?
That year is etched onto memory as one of the deadliest, most active tornado seasons.
It's like these
on
drug
record.
addicts that go out and rob and
Hundreds
steal
of
and
lives
assault
lost,
people, and then everybody's like,
thousands
"Oh, it's because
forever
they were on
marked.
drugs."
Meteorologists observed
Don't
troubling
judge.
signs, aggressive atmospheric fronts, and unusual instability. On April 27th, the
Just
atmosphere
because you
burst
make,
open,
just because you make
unleashing
the
over
choice
200
to be a drug
twisters from the
addict doesn't
void.
mean
What
that
happened is
you
it
have
was
a
a
permanent
perfect
excuse for
recipe
being
for
a menace to
weather alert
society.
nightmare.
They tore through the southern and eastern U.S., from Texas to Pennsylvania.
First responders who were here were so busy pulling the living from all of this debris, they were forced to ignore the dead. That's how bad this is. You can hear the sound of smoke detectors.
Yeah, I've
in
seen
the
3
distance, but no
tornadoes
one's
in my
here.
life,
There's the smell of death.
and one of them was really close.
Pulverized.
Like
there is a church up there that is just
probably
now a concrete
maybe
slab. You can't even
3/4
see
of a mile
the
away
wood
from me.
and things that made up the
So
church
when I was a kid, I
In
watched
less
it from
than
my back
60
porch,
seconds,
and
the
then
tornado had
got
destroyed
my
half the
butt
homes
beat
in
for it
town.
when I told
The
my parents
strongest
later.
tornado to hit Mississippi in more than 50 years.
These are
And then I saw one just a couple years ago in North
devastating storms
Dakota.
and tornadoes this community has seen since at least 1974.
For 4 days, a storm of biblical scale swept through the region. Nearly 360 tornadoes carved a path of destruction. Textbooks would later refer to it as the 2011 super outbreak.
The huge outbreak of tornadoes in late April 2011 was so bad.
Man, see,
that it
I'm
earned a
weird. I
special
think
name,
tornadoes are
Super
absolutely
Outbreak of
beautiful. I
2011.
think tornadoes
Only
are
once
awesome.
before,
I
April
understand what they are and
1974,
everything, and I'm
did
not
an
like
outbreak get named a super outbreak.
Locals barely had time to catch
ridiculous
their breath
about
before
it,
the
but
dust
I
settled.
think that's
Tragedy
the
struck
creation of
again.
God that is just
On May 22nd,
absolutely
2011, Joplin
awe-inspiring.
faced the costliest tornado in modern U.S. history. How did it happen? It started like a postcard spring morning. In northeast Joplin,
He
families
was
gathered
triggered
to
to do what
celebrate
he.
graduation.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Laughter
I
in the
agree
air,
with that, Nicholas.
hugs all
100%.
around.
That's why I was
Talk
saying
of
that
futures just beginning.
something.
But there was something hidden.
Something convinced
something no
him
one saw unfolding.
that this was a good
190 miles to the
plan
west,
of attack.
the sky was
Something
starting to
convinced
stir.
him that this was
Meteorologists were on
a
high
righteous
alert,
thing to do.
watching every signal.
And that's what
1:30
I'm
p.m.
talking about. And
Tornado
whatever
Watch
did that needs to
341
be
was issued.
held accountable as well.
Probability,
Whether it be the
15%.
left-wing media, the
For a
propaganda,
town that heard it all before,
the
such
politicians
warnings
that
didn't sound like
screaming
much.
violent rhetoric all
Nothing
over
new.
the place.
Another routine
Whatever
alarm.
it is, it
People were
needs to
simply
stop.
exhausted from living in constant survival mode. Unfortunately, familiarity dulls our instincts. Waiting could be a risky habit. 4 p.m.
I mean, this could have very well been the third time
It rapidly intensified into a supercell. That it merged with another.
that Mr. Trump has
forming a
been
spiraling vortex,
aimed at.
thousands of feet tall. Air begins to spin
That's
like a drill.
unacceptable.
A mesocyclone locked onto Joplin like a target. 5:09 p.m.
A president
The
just
National
like all the
Weather
rest of the
Service
presidents we
issued a
had. Half the
tornado
country
warning for
agrees with them, half
Jasper
the
and
country doesn't.
The countdown
It's that way with
began.
every single president that we have in the Oval
Looking to the
Office.
northwest, as we mentioned before, a high precipitation
It doesn't
supercell.
give
So that means
anybody
you're
the
not gonna
right
be able
to
see
try
a
to take
tornado.
his life.
If there in fact is one on the ground right now, it looks like we just
You know,
have
I
some
mean,
reports of a funnel cloud.
5:17
Obama and
p.m.
Biden.
The warning was updated.
Nobody had a right to try
28
and
sirens
end
wailed
their
across
life.
the city. Emergency alerts echoed on the radio, TV, and weather channels.
I didn't like them.
This time,
Still don't like
the
them.
storm would teach a harsh
I don't think
lesson.
they should have been in the
Sirens
Oval
aren't always
Office. I
heard, especially
completely
with windows
disagree with the
closed.
majority of the
The
things
hills
that
and
they did and
valleys
said and
created
thought
sound
and felt.
distortion, while rain and hail further
But
masked the threat. A survey
It
found
doesn't mean that they're
10%
supposed to
of
be
residents,
taken
up to
away
5,000
in an
people,
untimely
were
fashion.
unaware of the warning. Of the 90% who did, 84% took the NWS alert seriously. 77% said they headed to the safest place they could find.
It's looking ugly. That's the tornado siren.
Yep, that is correct, Wolfgang. He is actually very centrist.
Look at that. Well, that's not good.
You know how addicts help themselves? They don't become addicts. They find a way to be successful in
5:29
society
p.m.
and not turn to
On
drugs to
meteorologist
cope every
screens,
day.
The hook
That's how
echo became
addicts
crystal
help
clear.
themselves.
A strike was inevitable.
We've got some information on this.
Oh,
Let's
what's
go
up,
ahead and
Big
go to the
D?
Freeman First Alert Doppler radar.
Dustin, what's up, buddy?
Galena is reporting trained weather spotters in Galena.
Oh,
are
you like
reporting
NATOs too?
sightings of funnel clouds. Caitlin,
I'm a
you were
huge
telling me
NATO
about that
fan.
just a moment ago.
When I'm not watching
5:34 p.m.
politics or
The tornado
motorcycles,
made
I'm
landfall
watching
on
NATO
Joplin's
coverage.
southwest side.
Public report, meaning that one of their train spotters hasn't seen it, but there's our tower cam.
I'm obsessed with them.
That would appear to be a
Ever since
a
I
power
saw
flash.
some of
That could be
the,
from a
I saw
lightning
one as a
strike,
kid. I
but,
was probably in
that
fourth
is the
grade.
portion of the
I
storm
was just talking about that a minute
we
ago.
have been concerned with.
And
Tornado sirens
my
once
parents
again.
were not
Once
home
again
at that
going off
moment.
in
I don't
Joplin.
know
Those
why.
are
I
definitely
don't remember
lightning
why.
Flashes that we are seeing on
But
the ground.
there's
TV
a
networks
really
and phone
bad
lines were
storm
going
in,
down.
and
No way to carry calm
I've
professionalism
always been
anymore.
fascinated by lightning.
No need.
And
What they
usually
saw
before there's a
was
tornado, there's
terrifying.
lightning storms. So I
In
was out
moments,
on the back
the studio
porch
was
of my
filled
house
with
watching the
voices
lightning
of
storm
anxiety
and
and
saw a
fear.
tornado drop down about 3/4 of a mile from my house.
You to take cover
And
right now. We do have a tornado
I'm an
on the
idiot.
ground.
I was in fourth grade, however
This is a
old you
very
are. I'm 40,
dangerous
like 9
situation.
years old, maybe
We
10.
cannot stress this enough.
And I
If
stood
you
there
are
and
in
watched it.
Joplin, please take cover.
And
The
it wasn't like a
broadcast cut
huge
out.
tornado or anything like
Darkness
that. I
begins
don't
to
think it
swallow
did any
the
major
city.
damage.
5:37
It
p.m.
wasn't like major,
Just 3 minutes later,
huge,
the tornado
probably
slammed
like
into
an
St. John's
EF2 or
Regional
something like
Medical
that,
Center.
maybe even an EF1,
Inside,
I don't know.
over 180
But I
patients and medical
I
staff.
stood there and watched
They
it on my
received the
back
warning.
porch as a kid.
Staff followed the protocol.
And then I was
The
so excited
time
about it, I
was
told my
not
parents
on
when
their
they got
side.
home, and then I got my
Hospital
butt
that's
beat
right
for it.
here cannot take any
'Cause,
patients,
you know,
because the hospital
in Ohio,
has no
you're
power.
taught
It was hit very, very hard.
from
You can see nearly
kindergarten,
every
preschool,
window in the hospital has been
to,
damaged. The roof
you know,
severely damaged. Every vehicle in the parking lot is a total
go in the
loss. They've
basement
taken
or
all their
go in a
critical
hallway
care
or
patients
stand in
to
a
neighboring
doorway
hospital,
and tuck your
that
head and all that.
hospital
We go through
did not
tornado
take any
drills
more patients
from
other
preschool.
than life-threatening injuries.
The tornado
So
ravaged the hospital.
we're supposed to know
knocking out the main
what to
power
do when a
and
tornado
backups.
comes around, and here I
5
am, a
patients
9,
and
10-year-old
one
kid,
visitor
just
died on the spot.
standing on the back porch
More
staring at
followed
it. So
in the
yeah,
days
I
ahead.
got in pretty big trouble for
5:39
that
p.m.
one, but
Greenbrier
I have
Nursing
been
Home.
obsessed with
These would become the
thunderstorms
most harrowing
since
minutes of
I
the
was a
national
kid,
tragedy.
and that
all
probably
within the walls of one building.
added to it
It was a
quite a
place
bit.
for those who had already weathered their storms in life. And now, it stood directly in the path of another. Inside were around 90 people, elderly residents, visitors, nurses. The staff reacted quickly to the warning, guiding everyone into the interior hallway.
I pretty much like any kind of natural disasters. I'm not like them, but I'm fascinated by any kind of floods, hurricanes, earthquakes,
the building
forest fires,
collapsed. 21
anything
lives
like that.
gone in
like,
seconds.
I'm just drawn to it.
PM. The tornado
curious
reaches
investigating
Joplin's
it.
downtown core. Homes are wiped off the map. A security camera captured the street disappearing frame by frame. However, the storm was only gathering force.
Yep, all of
Charging
that
toward
probably
Joplin High School.
played a part, Bourbon.
Several wings of the school vanished.
Probably all of the above.
Surveillance footage caught the moment wind tore through the
Unfortunately,
hallways.
but that's the world we live in,
Windows
and that's what's
exploded.
sad.
Walls caved.
That's what's
and
sad,
ceilings
because
crashed
there are
down.
people that could
Had
stop some
graduation
of it
not
from
been
happening, and they
relocated to a
don't.
university campus miles
They
away,
encourage it and
it might have been
participate
the
in it.
funeral of 400 more lives. Days later, pieces of the school were found over 60 miles from the city.
I just found this happy
Well,
graduation.
again, there has to be a
I don't know if
balance.
it's necklace or
I
what it
consider
is,
myself
but this
an
tornado happened
empathetic
at
person,
the same time that the graduation
but I'm also a
ceremonies were
realist.
going on here in Joplin.
And I believe
the graduation
in-
ceremonies,
in
thankfully, were not happening
consequences.
at the high school itself because the high school was demolished. So just one situation after another. There's a story kind
actually-
of every 5 feet you walk around here.
I actually
nearby
work with the
Franklin
homeless. It's
Technology Center, the
my
region's vocational training
I'm
hub,
around
was also
the
struck.
homeless
Everyone inside
5
during
nights a
the
week.
impact survived by some miracle.
And
5:42 p.m. Nature's
my
blind
I
fury
are
struck the Harmony
incredibly
Heights Baptist Church.
into
Inside,
doing charity
over
stuff
50
and
congregants
raise
had taken
funds
shelter.
and helping
The
out
church's pastor
homeless
was
and
sightless.
veterans and things like
The
that.
tornadoes recognize no sanctity.
They
don't stop for reverence.
We're very
or human
empathetic
fragility.
person, people.
3 lives were
But
lost.
we also
Their
believe
bodies were found beneath the crumbled roof. One of them was the pastor's
in
mother.
the reality
The best
of
mother a
law and
man
order
could
and
ever have.
consequences and
the
personal
song that I sang
responsibility
was a
and
special song
cause
that
and
she
effect
requested
and
that I
all of that
sing.
stuff.
Just about the end of the solo is when
I think
they, let us
society
know
is
that,
not teaching
we needed to
kids
take cover.
As a symbol of faith and resilience, the church was
basic
later rebuilt
moral
at
values
5:43
anymore.
p.m. Tornado achieved peak intensity.
I think
Winds
that has a lot
between
to do with it.
155 and
I
224
think kids
miles
aren't
per
getting
hour.
raised properly anymore.
EF5, the highest on the enhanced
Nature
Fujita
can
scale.
wipe everything we work
For
to build in
comparison,
seconds.
a
Yeah,
Formula
nature,
One car
you
hits
you
that
can't mess
speed
with
at full
nature.
throttle.
Nature's so much
But
more
here,
powerful
no track,
than we are.
no driver,
And it's
no
humbling.
finish
It's
line.
really humbling to me.
Much
I think that's
larger
why I like.
You can see that it was taking
That's
out
why I'm
the
so interested in natural
transformers. It
disasters,
continues to
because
push
it's very
off
humbling.
to the east.
You think you're so
Joplin.
smart. You think you're so strong with all our technology, all our capabilities, all our knowledge, and Mother Nature can come and just destroy your entire life in seconds.
Dangerous situation at this point in time.
The storm smashed into the Hampshire Terrace apartment complex. 12 more lives were taken. Dozens more changed forever. Then, like a detonation, it hit
Have
Rangeline
you
Road.
the new Twisters movie? I don't think it was as good as the first one, obviously, but I thought it was pretty good, actually.
In mere seconds, AT&T,
The system rips off
Walmart,
everybody, Nicholas.
Pizza Hut, and Home Depot were
I'm not
obliterated.
homeless. I get ripped
There
off
was
every day
almost
by
no
the
way to
system.
survive in that area. Cars were wrapped around trees.
I don't get to make excuses.
Others were hurled into nearby businesses.
I just
over
get shit
200
taken away
meters
from me.
the parking lot.
I get my car
Metal,
repossessed. I
twisted
get
like
my,
foil.
home
In one
foreclosed
car,
on.
they later found an empty child's
I get
car
my
seat.
electricity turned
the
off.
driver was never identified.
I have to walk to work.
At Joplin's Home Depot, the search
I
and
have to
rescue
suffer
personnel from
consequences.
Missouri Task Force 1 have not found anyone alive.
Because I made the
They've only
choice.
found
I made the
bodies.
decision not to be an addict.
5:46 p.m. East Middle School.
So
The
I
roof
don't
being
have.
ripped into the
I don't
sky.
feel sorry for somebody
Windows
who chooses to
exploded
be an
from inside
addict.
Pressure. Thankfully, the
and
building
gets
was
away
empty.
with things that I have to suffer
5:47
for.
p.m. Fast Trip gas station. Customers crammed into the walk-in freezer.
I made a
saying
decision
their
to try and do
goodbyes.
things right
The
and to
audio
deal with
captured
life
from
on
inside is
an eye-to-eye
gut-wrenching,
basis.
full of sorrow, rage, courage.
Yeah, I am still willing to help as much as I can, but I also balance that. And if they're effing up, I will tell them. I'll tell them straight out. They want to come to me and they want to complain about this and that and this and that, and I look them straight in the eye. Go get a job. They complain about things the way things are in a homeless shelter, and I look at them and I say, you don't have to be here. Quit doing your crap and go get a job and go get your own apartment, and you can leave the lights on as long as you want. You can stand outside and smoke all night if you want to. You don't have to have a curfew. You don't have to be quiet because somebody's in a bunk next to you. Get a job and take care of your own stuff. But they make the decisions. They make decisions to keep putting things in their veins or smoking
The
things
entire
or,
building was leveled.
you know,
But the people
snorting
inside
things or whatever,
survived.
however they do
When
it.
They crawled out.
That's
The
their
streets that
decision.
once raised them were
It was
unrecognizable.
their decision to do it the very
What had
first
been
time,
alive
and it
with
was their
motion and
decision to keep
sound,
on doing it.
Now piles of
And it was their
brick,
decision to
shredded
continue
metal,
doing it after it
and the
messed up
smell
their
of
life.
gas in the air.
All right, here's the gas station that we were at.
And to me, they get no
Car's
special
right over
treatment.
there. Our car got blown away.
5:48 p.m. A tornado slashed across Interstate 44 at a slash.
Because I have to deal with all the same stuff they do.
Flip trucks like toys. Left
I have to
cars
do it so
wrecked
clean and sober.
scattered along the way. One eyewitness would later say, "It looked like a giant."
And I put in
dropped
50
its
hours a
fist on the
freaking week.
highway. There was a point when the disaster
And still can't make
exited
my
the
ends
city,
meet.
but not completely.
I'm
Because under
still
the
sitting here
rubble,
robbing Peter to pay
voices
Paul
cried
and,
for
and
help.
hiding
People
my
were
car
trapped.
so it doesn't get
The death
repossessed.
toll was still unknown. It was far too early to exhale.
Life sucks,
Hands were
man.
needed.
Life's hard.
10 hospitals, doctors.
But I'm doing it
everyone.
straight and sober.
So the entire city became a volunteer command center. Help poured in from neighboring states, from the north, from the south, with no orders, just human instinct.
Take a look. I mean, it's everything is just completely demolished. I mean, homes
My life has
are
absolutely
destroyed,
sucked. My life has been
families'
full,
lives have been
filled
turned
with so
upside
much
down at
crap
this point,
and drama and
people are just
trauma
looking for their loved ones. They're
and
looking
things
for
that
family members.
quote
When you take
unquote
a
weren't
look here
fair.
at this neighborhood, all I can say is it looks very reminiscent of what we saw last
Sometimes
month.
I don't know how I
And-
survived the 56 years of the bullshit.
Excuse me.
But I did.
Yeah, it's tough. No question about that.
It is possible.
The tornado outlined a quarter of Joplin on the map. 4,000 families lost homes and years of life within
And
them.
I did it 99.9%
3,500
without
more
government
homes were
help.
severely damaged. Over 1,000 people were injured.
Can't
More
say
than
I've never
500
had government
commercial
help.
buildings were
Everybody needs a
destroyed.
hand up every
10
once in a while.
schools, 2 hospitals.
But I detest
dozens
it.
Of churches.
I detest being
Total damages over $2.8
handed anything
billion
that I didn't earn, that I didn't
no
work
number
for.
could account for the price of a life. Familiar voices, forever
It
silenced.
literally makes my skin
156
crawl
chairs sat empty at
to
family
try and
tables,
sit here
and the total
and
wasn't
ask
even
my
final.
chat for money.
The storm kept killing
Because I'm just
even
sitting here
after
talking.
The winds died. In the following
I don't
days,
feel
a
like
new
this is a
enemy
real
emerged.
job.
Mucormycosis,
So as much as I
a
appreciate
rare
it, I
fungal
don't
infection spread from the
sit here and
drifted
think I
soil
deserve
to
it
open
because I have a
wounds in
YouTube
lungs.
channel.
18 cases, 5 more
So
deaths.
it literally,
took everything Joplin
it's work
had,
for me
but fate did
to
not
try
break
and
the city.
promote,
It stood back up.
try to
Within 3 years,
ask for
school bells
donations
rang
and
again.
stuff like that.
The
That's why I
hospital
very
reopened,
rarely do
and
it.
Mercy Park bloomed where ruins
And I don't
once
do it very
lay.
well when I do
Only
do
thunder,
it.
sleepless nights.
And I understand
old
that. I've watched
photos on
some videos
shelves,
and I'm like, oh my God, I
and quiet
sounded like a
memorials
complete
kept the
idiot
pain
when I did
alive.
that.
But so does the memory of quiet heroism. Christopher
Because
Lucas,
I don't like
Pizza Hut
handouts.
manager, saved 15 people by leading them into the freezer.
Because
He
I
held
was
the door
raised to
shut
believe
from
that
the
if you want it,
outside
you
with a
work
belt,
for it and you get it.
as it wouldn't lock from the inside. The tornado took him.
I'll tell you the
Everyone
dog
else
poop
lived.
story.
The only reason we survived is because
We had
held
a
the door
giant
shut
black lab
with
when I was a
strap.
kid.
Dean Wells,
And this
employee
dog-
of a Home Depot, died holding
This
the
dog
door, saving
laid
strangers,
piles like
literally
nobody's business.
holding the door
You'd
between
have thought
life
this
and
was an
death.
800-pound
He
dog, the
managed
piles
to
she laid
lead
in the
dozens
backyard.
of customers into a break
And we
room,
lived in the city. We didn't
the
have a
only
very big
shelter the store
backyard.
had, while heading back
Anyways,
to help more.
I'm
He
out
was
front
buried
in the street
under
or in the
rubble
yards,
of the wall.
driveways,
Don
whatever,
Lanshaw
playing with my
shielded his wife in
friends
the
on the
bathtub.
street, and the ice cream
The
truck
house
starts
turned into
coming from down the
splinters.
road.
He didn't
And
make
all
it.
the rest of the
She
kids
did.
fly to
Felt
their
the
house
government.
and come back in
And then
10 seconds later
he
with a
didn't move
dollar or
anymore.
50 cents, a
That
couple
was
quarters
love.
in their hands or whatever.
Stronger than death.
And yes, I'm aging myself. We could get ice cream off the ice cream truck for a couple of quarters.
While shielding her body,
And
Dawn was hit by debris.
I would go in if my
died
dad
of
was
a
home,
puncture wound to the back.
and I would say, "Hey,
Grace
Pop, can I
Aquino
get some ice cream
wrapped
money?"
arms around
And he
her
goes,
11-year-old son as the
"If
church
you can go in
walls
the back
collapsed,
and clean
he
up
led
all
it.
the dog
She
messes
didn't. At her funeral,
to a
pastor
satisfactory
said
manner
she
before
was a
the ice
prayer
cream
made
truck
flesh.
disappears, I'll give you
Cheryl
some money to
Nelson,
go run and catch the ice
AT&T
cream man."
clerk, led a family
And I did. I
of
had to
young
go in the
children
back and I had to
run for
clean up the
shelter.
backyard in a
Stood by
hurry.
the door, bracing it shut until the building gave way.
And then
10
he would say,
survived.
"Okay, now you earned it,"
She
and he would
didn't.
give me some money, and I'd
Mark
run up the road and go
Lindquist,
get ice cream.
social worker,
When
covered
all my
3
friends had already
disabled
finished
clients
eating
with
theirs,
mattresses, then lay across
because
them
their parents
himself.
just threw money at them.
All 3 died. Mark was thrown a block away.
Well, those same
Coma.
friends,
But
years
Lindquist
down the
kept
neighborhood.
fighting and proved doctors wrong.
Because I kept
He came
an eye
out of
on
the coma
kids we,
and
we
started
grew up
asking
around in the
questions.
neighborhood.
The first words
They were
he
still
said
living
to
with their
me were,
parents at 30
"Are my
years old.
guys okay?" And I had trouble dealing
slobbering
with that at first,
drunks
you know,
that had
but I realized
odd
they're in a
jobs
better
here and there
place.
and whatever.
And now instead of me watching over
When I
them,
was
they're kinda
23 years
watching
old, I
down on
owned
me,
my
and
first
I feel
business.
I actually feel like I have 3 angels.
After coming out of the coma,
Because
his
my
life
dad
was put
taught
on
me how to
hold
work for
again.
things. My dad
He
was
contracted a
no peach. My dad
fungus disease.
did a whole lot of things
He
wrong.
saw an angel in a
But my
light
dad told me
green
if you
light,
want something,
and he said at that point
you got to put in some
I
work
knew
for
the
it.
fungus was gone.
And you got to make the
And
right
very soon
decisions, and you
after,
got to
they
weigh
told us he was free of the fungus.
He tried.
how much is it worth
and
to
he
you.
lived to remember.
If you really
The
want that
tornado
ice cream,
took
it's
nearly
worth
everything, but it couldn't take
hauling
human
ass,
dignity.
working hard,
It couldn't take
and doing the
love.
chore that you're told to do
Take care of one another.
in a quick
Every
fashion,
storm
so you can
eventually
get that
ends,
thing that you want if
but
it's
the
worth
way
it
we
to you,
hold
if
each
it's
other,
that much of a priority.
that remains.
And that's what I was taught. And if you go back there and you have an attitude and you fuss and you fight and
is
you
the largest
complain,
tornado in recorded history.
and it's just going to
heading
take twice as
straight
long,
for
and by the
storm
time you're
chasers
done,
desperately trying to
you would
escape.
have
In
cleaned up
just
the
a couple of
backyard,
months, this monster
shoveled up a
will
whole bunch of
become one
dog
the
poop,
strongest,
and
most
not got
infamous
ice cream.
tornadoes in modern history.
So you had to make a choice. You had to be accountable. So that's my dog poop lesson.
But how did this happen? An EF5
Because
tornado.
if you want the ice cream, you clean up the dog poop.
Oklahoma, leveling multiple neighborhoods.
And do a good job and do it
The
fast.
Oklahoma City Metro is left in shock at the devastation. May is an active time for tornadoes in Oklahoma, but nothing like this could have been predicted. One thing about the weather, though, is that it stops.
And
for no
that's how I view
one, as the
everything in
weather
my
system
life.
responsible for
Nothing's
the
free.
EF5 tornado
I don't
fades
deserve
to the
anything.
east. A new system
Just for
follows from
existing.
behind. Forecasters notice a strong
I
trough in
deserve
weather
things when I
models,
earn them.
and note it will intensify over central Oklahoma.
And if I don't,
as
I'm not going to
winds
get them.
push from a region of high pressure to low pressure. A band of robust winds foster the
I don't believe in
wind
credit
shear needed
cards.
for storms to form. The summer heat and strong moisture
I'm a cash
from
and
the
carry
Gulf
person because if
blend
I don't
in
have
these
the money
areas
in
as
my
well,
pocket, then I
giving the
don't need it.
atmosphere every ingredient it would need for supercell thunderstorms.
I don't think that
But
some
still,
plastic card in
not
my
every
pocket should give me
supercell
something
is a
just because I
disaster.
want
It
it.
feels like South Florida, I gotta tell you.
Because
my
when I
hands
do
have been
that, that
sticky
means
all
I don't
day.
have the
Just a
money,
ton of moisture
which
in
means
the
I didn't
atmosphere right
earn
now. A
it,
couple of storms that have already begun
and I
to
didn't
fire
plan
here.
for it and
Gonna
make
show
the
it
right
to you.
decisions
Off
to enable
our
me to have
north
it.
here, this is one that's going to head toward, we believe,
So I'll
Cassia,
wait
and
till
you
I can
see
afford it.
a well-delineated base to this.
When I
So
have
we're
the
gonna
cash
to
in my
position
pocket to buy
ourselves
that
in
thing,
a
then
way
I'll buy
lets
that
those
thing.
storms slide by us, where we can kind of avoid the larger hail cores because they've already put down.
But just because
some
I have a
big
little
hail.
plastic card in my
Hundreds,
wallet
possibly
doesn't mean I
thousands
deserve
of
everything that I
chasers
want.
have chosen today to chase storms.
Because all that does
and
is
it was perfect. Right in
bring
the
bad
middle
consequences
of
to my
tornado
family.
eye, summer had just rolled around, and a huge tornado had
When
just
we go in credit
occurred
card debt
in the exact same
and
area,
lose my
enticing
truck
chasers with the
and,
prospect of another
you know,
potentially
don't
historic
have the money
event.
to
With
pay
the
rent
risk
and all that
directly
because we
situated
went into
on
credit
central
card debt
Oklahoma,
because we thought we
storm
deserved
chasers
it
needed a good
just because
place
they
to sit
were nice
and
enough
wait,
to give
while
me a
still
little
avoiding traffic
card that
from
said that I
huge
deserved stuff
Oklahoma
when I
City.
couldn't afford
To
it.
the west of the Oklahoma City Metro, the town of El Reno presented itself as the perfect target for chasers, with the El Reno area packed with chasers. At 4:30 p.m., a blip on radar appears, and then a couple more. With
But
the
that's, you
extreme
know, that it's
instability
personal
present or
responsibility
available
and it's decisions.
energy in the atmosphere, these blips
And these
quickly
people
going
that
to
are on
turn
drugs are
into
not doing either
monster
one of those. They have no personal
Renowned storm
responsibility,
chaser
nor are
Tim
they
Samaras tweets about the
making.
dangerous potential ahead.
Storms now
Most of them aren't
initiating
making
south of
decisions,
Watonga
period.
along
They just
Triple
rely
Line. Dangerous stay ahead for Oklahoma.
on the
Stay
fact
weather
that,
savvy.
Tim
oh,
is
somebody will
chasing
take
this
care of
group
me. Somebody will
to
hook me
steps.
up.
His son, Paul
There's some
Samaras,
nice
and a
people
close
that
colleague of his named Carl Young accompany him as
decided to
part of
make
the
a
team.
shelter,
Their
and
goal,
so I don't have
get
to worry about
life-saving
paying
data
rent.
of tornadoes using
I've seen
instruments
people
like
that
pressure
like
probes.
literally
In fact,
live
back in 2003, Tim had set the world
in a
record
homeless
for
shelter
the lowest pressure
for
drop
months and
ever
months.
recorded in a tornado, and he was out there to do it again,
Able-bodied,
risking his life for the safety of those
fairly
around him.
intelligent,
At 5 p.m., many of the cells are spinning, and
adult
producing
people
massive hail. This would be the start of the storm's dangerous behavior.
that make a
It's not
lifestyle
long
out of
until they
living
begin
in
to
homeless
merge
shelters.
into one giant complex, with the southernmost storm becoming dominant.
That's
This
disgusting to
dominance
me.
allows it to tap into atmospheric ingredients more efficiently.
I've been in
and
shelters. I've been
spin
homeless from time to
tighter than the
time
others. Rapid rotation
because I
encompasses
made a
the
lot of bad
base the
decisions
storm,
when I was
and a
younger
large wall cloud
and kind of
forms.
flew by the
This
seat of
wall
my
cloud
pants a lot
highlights the
and
mesocyclone
ended up in
of the storm,
situations.
essentially the portion capable of producing
I spent
a
one night in a freaking shelter. I'm not doing that again.
Here we're just south, about 2
That is
miles.
not my. That's not my scene, man.
Of El Reno. This is a pretty good storm right here. We got about
But spending one night in a shelter was enough to make me go back outside that shelter and start making some smarter decisions in a hurry.
This tornado actually touched down, however,
Personal responsibility.
As the actual base of the storm
I didn't see everybody needs to help me because I have a problem.
Emerging from the spinning clouds,
I said I need to help me
randomly,
and I need to fix my problem.
Storm. While currently weak, it's obvious that something big is about to happen. It's just a matter of when. At 6:03, a small funnel stretches to the ground before lifting back in the air.
I feel like I'm rambling about that, sorry. It's just something I'm kind of passionate about, and it's because I have to deal with it on a nightly basis.
We got multiple vortexes. Multi-vortexes.
It's moving away from us. We're good.
I literally see homeless people, drug addicts, alcoholics.
Sub-vortex. You see, tornadoes are not exactly
on a nightly basis.
Single spiral into the air,
and
but rather
it makes me think. It makes me reflect a lot on my own situation and actions. I'll tell you that.
Are so close and similar in strength that they appear as one. But in this storm, the area of rotation is so large and has so much energy. These sub-vortices
but that means you have the cash there to pay it. That's not credit.
Multiple smaller circulations converge and morph towards one main tornadic circulation, and the entire beast sways around unpredictably. If this isn't already confusing enough, the situation
when you're using money that you already have, that's not credit. So that to me that's different. I have a debit card. Nowadays you have to have a debit card, some kind of Visa to do anything, to rent a car, to get a hotel room. A lot of places will require you to show them that you have one.
The group's leaders are unaware of how close the actual
to verify ID and stuff like that. You have to have some kind of Visa card in your pocket now.
In fact,
so I have one, but I make sure they're debit cards. And if I don't have the money,
the tour leader is watching the increasingly.
I take small payday loans.
To see the tornado
like if it's 3 or 4 days to payday and I got to pay a bill, I'll take $200 out. But that's against money I've already earned, money that I already have.
They see no motion.
It's not credit. It's not lending me any money. It's basically giving money that I already earned. It's just giving it to me a little bit early. And that's all different than credit.
At this moment, they have less than 60 seconds to get out of the tornado's path.
Trust me, if I had a pocket full of credit cards, I would not be in the situation I'm in right now. But I can't do that. I had a period of time when I did it, when I ran a business, and I felt like I had to. I had to exercise my line of credit because my business needed that, and my business needed this, and my business needed that.
Jump into the vans in the convoy.
And then what happened? The recession happened. I lost my business.
Fortunately,
and basically I ended up with basically nothing but a whole lot of freaking credit card debt.
Have positioned themselves to the south of the tornado. This is because, again,
and ever since then that was
to the northeast, but because of the sudden southeast motion,
that was almost 20 years ago now.
To get out of the way of the powerful circulation. Due to the hundreds
it took me a long time to even get a bank account or anything after that. I didn't do anything but cash and carry.
The hype
because I got myself in so much trouble.
A backlog of chasers.
You know, I was young,
as close to the tornado as possible,
and ambitious, trying to do some things that were probably outside of my league.
The erratic motion and structure of the tornado,
but
it's creating one of the most
legitimately, it wasn't completely my fault. The recession, when the bottom dropped out of the economy,
6:09 p.m.
I was running a remodel business, and nobody wanted to get a new kitchen when everybody was afraid of not having any money next month.
Of the sub-vortices make it difficult to
so my business went under in a big hurry.
But they assume the tornado is headed east to northeast, which would be essentially directly for them. Analyzing the situation,
when my business went under, I still had a family, I still had kids, still had bills and a house and car payments and all of that.
Place them in a deadly situation as winds begin to
so all those things I got on credit, I ended up selling for cash to pay bills.
Debris!
And then I had nothing.
Oh my God!
Except for debt that I had to spend years trying to fix. Because I thought I deserved and needed something that I didn't earn yet.
They waited until the tornado was so close to them, but the same illusion that almost killed the tour group has struck again, making the motion seem much less direct than usual. The wet roads and gusting winds mean their car
Again,
is
I was
limited
stupid,
to
and stupid hurt.
max
It
40
cost me
miles
my
per hour,
family.
a
I
speed
ended up
which is not at all
divorced.
fast enough to escape the massive growing wind field. As the strongest inflow winds
And
feeding into the tornado strike
it's not
them,
something
a
I
nearby
recommend to people.
farmhouse is torn apart,
It
pelting their
sucks.
car with debris and shattering the windshield. They are just barely able to keep moving though, escaping the tornado by less than
Again,
40
because
seconds.
I got too
At the
big for
same
my
moment,
britches.
Exactly 1 mile north of Wright and Sullivan, the Twistex group is turning east onto Reno Road. Right now, the team is trying to get in the path
Just 'cause
of
you
the
can doesn't mean you
intensifying
should.
tornado by paralleling the tornado from the north. Their hope is to outrace it, allowing them to
But
drive south ahead of it.
as
they
far as
follow
drug
the
addicts
tornado,
and
they no longer
people like
see
that
a
go, they
collection
make a
of
personal
some
decision.
vortices like earlier,
And I
but
understand.
instead, a giant wedge.
I was a drunk for a while. I understand that it's kind of a downward spiral.
Extreme subvortices,
But there's
though.
always
In fact,
somebody in your
they are just
life,
hidden inside
and I can
the
attest to this.
dust
There's
and
always
debris.
somebody in your
The
life
only
that's
way
going
to
to be
see
the
where the
voice of
subvortices
reason and
are
going to
now
tell you that
would be
you're
by actually
effing
looking
up.
inside the storm. which
It's
is
your choice whether
precisely
to
what
listen
the
to that
crew
person
in
or not.
control of a mobile radar truck
Are you going to
are
listen
doing.
to the one
What they
voice of reason
observe
among the
is
crowd of
very
drunk
rare.
friends?
For most normal
You going to listen to that one
tornadoes,
sober
the
one that came to
rotating
pick
core
you
of
up
the
when you
storm
couldn't drive home
will
from the
exact
bar?
its power into a single point.
Are you going
But
to listen
here,
to that
the
one
mesocyclone
reasonable
is so
friend that
powerful, multiple
paid your
distinct
$2,500
rotations
in
are
bail
forming
because you got
within the circulation. The wind speeds
caught high
and erratic motion
somewhere you shouldn't
are
have been?
alarming to the people inside the radar truck.
Are you going to
Less
listen to
than
all the
half a
rest of the
mile
people telling you,
behind
come
the
on, man,
Twistex
let's have
crew,
fun, let's
Reed
have a good
Timmer and
time?
Team Dominator are also following the tornado.
Dude, this is good shit
Storm
right here,
Chaser
man. You
Ray
got to try
Boa
this.
is filming from within one of the team's 3 storm
It's
chasing
your choice who
vehicles.
you're going to listen
Dominator
to.
1. He captures the monster in front of
And
him.
I spent some years listening to the wrong people. I'm speaking from personal experience.
The massive wedge
I had to
tornado
learn
can
everything
be
the hard
seen
way.
in
I
the
grew up
center of
in,
the screen, with
I
Team
went to the school of hard
Twistex just
knocks.
up ahead, right next to the tornado.
I had to learn everything the
Unknown
hard
to
way. I've
team,
done
though,
time for it.
They're in a very dangerous
I've
location.
lost a lot of things in my life from it. Until finally I was like, you know what? I got to stop doing this. This is dumb. I had to make that choice. Nobody could do it for me. And as far as I'm concerned, people that just give you things and make excuses for you, they're just enablers. And they're worse than you sometimes. When they're enabling, they're encouraging you
just behind the
to
team,
keep effing
when
up your
suddenly
life.
Another vortex forms.
I
further
hate
to the
excuses and I hate
southwest side of the
enablers.
wedge. Within the storm, there are now 3 or more visible vortices rotating around each other. The radar truck crew observes how the formation of these new tornadoes causes some crazy, unpredictable
Trust me,
behavior. Here,
I don't
the main wedge
sit
is
here and
pulled
try to be
north
holier
by the
than thou.
forming vortex, lunging
Everything
towards
I've learned,
Reno
I've learned the
Road,
hard way.
towards the Twistex crew.
And I've
Inside
learned through
Twistex's
consequences.
vehicle, Paul Samaras has a video camera and is capturing the
I'm
encounter.
56
While
years
the
old and
footage
got
they
barely
recorded is
anything
lost,
freaking show for
the
my
dialogue
life.
of the 3 crew members
And
has been
despite all my flaws, I've been a
Carl
hard
Young
worker
urges
and
Tim
worked my
to
ass
continue
off all my
east
life,
to
and I
get
got
ahead
shit
of
to
the
show
tornado.
for it.
We could pass it right now, Tim. It's
I'm
no
wearing
problem.
$5
Really.
earphones.
I mean, I have a clear shot.
But Tim realizes
I can't even
something's
afford a
wrong.
good $40, $50 set of earphones.
That's the problem.
As
Headphones.
the wedge curves towards them, the outer bands
Because
begin
I effed up my
impacting,
life.
pelting the car with debris.
We've got to turn to the
And I'm
north.
broke now.
That's
I'm
good.
worse than broke.
We're
I'm
gonna
in the
follow
hole.
it around to the north and get out of here.
But it's
Turn
all because of
north
my
into a
bad
reformatory
choices, my
road,
bad
battling
decisions. I don't
70
blame
mile
anybody
per hour
else for it.
winds feeding into the tornado. While this is happening, a
I did
civilian
shit I wasn't
named
supposed to
Richard
do, and I
Henderson
told you, in
is
my life,
also
stupid
on Reno
hurts.
Road, just ahead of
Every time I'm
Twistex.
stupid,
He had
I
watched
pay
the
for it
tornado
heavily.
touch down 10 minutes prior, where he had snapped an image of the forming
And it
tornado
causes me to
on his cell phone
evaluate
sent to a
everything.
friend before he made a phone
It's
call.
also caused me to be
Henderson
very
says,
cynical.
I'm having
Everything
fun.
I look
I'm
at, I
riding
look at
around
what could
chasing
go wrong,
storms.
how it could be bad.
Henderson's friend expressed concern.
You
And
better
then I
stop
try
doing that.
to
But Henderson
take the
kept
proper
chasing,
precautions to make sure that it
continuing
doesn't.
east on Reno Road.
It's created
When
I'm
the
a
tornado
very
made
cynical
its launch
person.
north, Henderson kept pushing eastwards. The friend recalls
But
hearing
it's
pop
because
noises as debris
of
hit
everything
Henderson's
that,
car.
all the hurt
Soon,
and all
car
the
went dead.
loss
If
and the
wedge
pain
keeps
and
going
everything that
north,
I've had to deal
both
with in my
Twistex
life
and Henderson won't
has
just be
made
hit
me
by
extremely
debris, but be
cautious.
directly struck by the violent tornado. In some miracle, the wedge decides to make a complete
And it affects
loop
every
and gets
decision
ahead
that I
south
make in my
again.
everyday
This
life.
sudden loop
For me,
allowed
for my
Twistex
family,
to escape north,
for the
where they
people
can
that I'm
turn west
entrusted
onto
with every
10th Street
night.
to make another attempt at safely intercepting the tornado. The dark mass
I make very very cautious,
deviates
very
slightly
weighty
to the east,
decisions all
and
the
with this
time.
change in path, a change in speed. the tornado is no longer moving at the reasonable 20 miles per hour from the beginning of its life.
I literally
Now,
have people that
racing
when they come up with
eastwards at
ideas,
more
they
than
come to me to
50
tell
miles per
for
hour.
me to tell
Any
them
chaser
how it's a
next
bad
to the
idea.
tornado now
They don't come to
suddenly
me
finds
for
themselves escaping a deadly situation.
validation. They come
There
to
is a
me
huge issue
because I'm the one
there
that'll tell
now,
them how it's
potentially
stupid.
hundreds of
Whether it is or
chasers
not, I can
clogging
find
the
all
wet
the bad
dirt
things that are
roads,
going to go
making
wrong.
it practically impossible to get out of the way. One chaser who finds himself stuck
Because
in
I've
the
lived
chaser
most of
traffic
them.
jam is Skip Toppett. He's in a group of chasers watching the storm approach from the intersection of 15th and Country Club
that's
Road.
my.
Up until now, dust has obscured the tornado from sight,
I
except
feel like
when
that's
lightning
my
strikes
mission
briefly,
when being
illuminating the
around
approaching circulation from behind. But even
the
as
people that I'm
tornado
around,
closes,
when being
the
around
heavy
homeless
rain
people and drug
hides
addicts
the
and stuff like
chaotic
that.
Ferris wheel of vortices from
I'm
sight.
that voice
The
of
group
reason that tells you,
stares,
hey, this is
waiting to
not a
gain
good
visual
idea.
on the tornado.
I'm that
After all,
voice
the
that's going to be
tornado is still
100%
about
honest and
2
say,
miles
bro,
away,
you
but gradually,
got to say I'm not
Toppett
going to do
notices
this
something
anymore.
Unusual. He watches as the rain curtains sweep from left to right.
You
at
are the one that
increasingly
has to get
fast
you out of
speed.
this
The
shelter.
rain must
You
be
are the
rushing
one that has to
around
never
at
look at a
more
needle
than
again.
100 miles per hour. This triggers a sudden epiphany. The rain is
And it's going
the
to suck
tornado.
and it's going to be
The
hard and it's
entire
going to be a lot of
area
freaking
is starting
work.
to gain tornadic winds.
But it'll be worth
The
it in the
group
end.
makes the smart decision to scramble east. As they turn onto 15th
But you have
they
to do it.
join
You
a
have to make the
bumper-to-bumper
decisions.
line
You
of
have to take
chasers,
personal
all
responsibility.
running for
You
their
got to look at
lives.
yourself in
Not
the mirror
everyone in this line is a
and say,
chaser,
how
though.
can
A
I
couple
fix
minutes
this?
before,
How can I
local
make this
resident
better?
Billy O'Neill and his son-in-law Jose
Not
Bonilla
what can
are
I
watching
get
the approaching tornado.
to survive?
Bonilla urges O'Neill
Who's going to give
get
me
into the
my
neighbor's
next
storm
meal?
cellar, but he's too claustrophobic. Because of this, the pair decide to try and
I
outrun
watch
the
homeless
tornado
people do
in their
this
car.
every
They drive
freaking
south
morning.
towards 15th Street, where they see the line
Between
of chasers
6:30 and
fleeing
7:30 in
the
the morning,
approaching
they get
funnel.
up, roll up
O'Neill
their
stops
beds,
and waves on the
pack up their
chasers, even as the
backpacks,
tornado approaches closer.
get
and
their
closer.
free cup of
Eventually,
coffee, and
the
they sit
last
there and
car
discuss
passes, and they're able to turn onto
what
15th Street,
church,
but the
what
tornado is
organization
moving way
has the
too
best
fast.
free breakfast in the
Unfortunately,
morning.
there's no chance of escape. Ahead of them, they see a pickup truck turn south.
And where
onto
can
a
they get a
dirt
food
road.
box that
Inside
they're going to take
is the
two
driver,
things out of
Dustin Heath
and
Bridges,
leave somewhere
and
else?
passenger Wyatt Mindeman. They have both been caught
Because
in
they got to
storm
take what they
whilst
can
heading towards
pack
the nearby
around.
town of Yukon.
They obviously
O'Neill
don't have
follows
cupboards
them
and
on a
refrigerators,
last-ditch
so
attempt to get out
there's
of
like
the
2 or 3
tornado's
things
path.
out of the
It's
food
too
box
late,
that they
though.
can put in their
Power
backpack, and the
lines
rest
brought
just gets
down
left
onto
outside the
Bridges'
shelter.
truck, trapping both cars as the tornado overtakes them. Bonilla recalls all the
But this is
windows
how they
flew
live
out
their
and
life.
started rolling. It was like slow motion. Both cars
Because the
roll
rest
at
of
least
they want to work about
150
getting
yards before they
worry
come
about getting
to a
breakfast
stop.
and lunch
Right
because the
side
rest
up
of their
on
day
a
is on a
completely
path to getting
different road.
high,
Bonilla climbs out of
getting
their
drunk,
car and hears screaming from Bridges' pickup.
and trying
He
to do
runs
it
over
early
to
enough that
find
they can
Bridges
still
hanging out at the door by his
manage to
seatbelt.
get into a
Mindeman
shelter
is
later
seen
on
with
without being a
crushed leg,
complete drugged out
unable to help
wreck.
him. Bonilla rushes back to O'Neill to get help, but when he arrives,
I cannot
he
see
realizes
living that way
O'Neill has passed
every
away.
single day.
O'Neill
That
grabs
is their
a piece
life.
of
It's a
broken
routine.
glass to cut Bridges free from his seatbelt. Paramedics
And
soon
nothing
arrived on the
in
scene,
that
but when they
constitutes
arrive,
making their lives
Bridges
any
has
better.
gone unresponsive. He and O'Neill
Nothing
are pronounced
in that
dead at the scene.
routine
The first death
constitutes
attributed to the
any
tornado.
kind of
1 mile
advancement,
north on Reno Road, there is another line of chasers
any
fleeing
problem
eastwards.
solving.
The last person in this traffic.
It's all
is the
just
previously
survival
mentioned Richard
and
Henderson.
instant
Henderson
daily
was able to
gratification.
make ground on the tornado when it looped behind him, but now it's closing on him.
And it's hard to
again.
feel
The
sorry for
crowd of
somebody like
vehicles
that.
now converge on Highway 81,
Because they
a
make the
major
decision to
road
do that
running
day
north
after
to
day after
south.
day after day.
Here, many chasers make a
You're in a
life or death
program
decision.
where
Continue
there are other
east
programs
and hope they can
offered
outrun
to
the
help you
tornado
get
on
clean,
dirt
to help
roads,
you find a
or turn
job,
south onto Highway
to help you work
81
on
and hope they can
resumes.
outrun the tornado before it hits them. Skip Toppett and Richard
But yeah,
Henderson
like
make
yeah,
the decision
they don't
to
want to have
continue
that
fleeing
responsibility,
east. At the same
so
time,
they choose
half
not
a
to
mile
accept
north
those
of
programs
Henderson, a group of chasers from the Weather Channel are about to make a
that we
different
all pay
decision.
for.
A decision that may be the biggest mistake of their lives.
Sometimes
The
it's
Weather
really
Channel team
tough
is made up of 3 vehicles. The
to
lead
not
vehicle
be
is driven
incredibly
by Kevin
negative
Parrish, which is then
and
followed by a vehicle
judgmental
named the Betts
when you're
Mobile
sitting in a
because
room
he's
full of people
operated
that
by
don't
Mike
give
Betts,
two
a
flying
Weather Channel
Fs.
reporter. Betts producer Austin Anderson and a cameraman
And you're there
named
working
Brad
your
Reynolds
butt off for
also
50 hours a
accompanied
week to
him.
pay
The
for
convoy
them to not
stops
have
just
to.
north of Reno Road, so Bets can make a live broadcast as the tornado
That can put you in a
approaches from the
really bad
southwest.
situation,
All right, that's Simon Brewer,
mentally
one of the storm
and
riders,
emotionally.
and I think we're trying to get a hold of Mike Bettis.
That I'm there for
He's
50
out there
hours a
because I
week away
believe
from
this
my
is the
family with
Mike
all my
shot
health
here.
problems.
So
I can't afford to take a day off.
Hey, Mike,
With
I
all
think
my
you
health
should
problems,
just
I have
now
to work
plug
through
it in.
pain. I have to, you know,
Mike, can you hear
whatever.
us?
Guys, that's it.
Meanwhile,
Right
I'm
there.
paying
There's
taxes
the
towards
tornado. We
these
are just now
programs,
just north of Union City, south of El Reno, south
and
of
I have to sit
I-40.
here and
Cops
watch
have
these
blocked
people
off,
literally
81
tell me
at this
they don't
point,
give a
and
crap.
not letting traffic go southbound because the path of the tornado could come right
I don't
over
care. I can
top
get
of
something over
Union City or
here.
pass
I don't
very
have to
close
pay
to it.
for it.
Look
They'll
at
just give it
that
to me.
monster. This is a huge tornado. If you live in Union City, south of El Reno, you have to
Hey,
take
Snooks,
shelter.
I'm glad you got your yard work
We may
done.
actually quickly try to get in our cars and get south of this. That'd be the safest place to do that. I think we have to go now
But that's
in order to
really,
stay ahead
really
of this and
tough
not
to
get run
sit
over
in a
by it.
room
So
full
guys,
of
I think we're
people
gonna get back in our cars.
that are
We're gonna try to keep our cameras on top of this, and we're gonna roll
blatantly
just to
and
stay safe,
admittedly
okay?
taking
We'll be back with you in
advantage of the
just a minute, but
system.
huge, violent tornado right now approaching
And I'm
Union City, south of
serving
El Reno,
them.
Oklahoma.
Their decision to drive south seems like a reasonable idea. To their north
At the
and
same time,
west,
I can't pay
giant
my electric bill.
record-sized hail is falling. Traveling east would keep them in the potential path of the tornado.
And I
So
have to
looking
keep
at
them
south
happy and
towards
keep them
clear
safe
air is by far the
and
most
keep them
appealing
provided
option.
for
Sadly,
when
once
they're not
again,
doing anything
illusions hide
to
the danger they're about
to
put
advance their
themselves in.
situation.
You see, the tornado is so
Because they don't
large,
have to.
It seems like it's barely moving yet again. But again, when a
That-
tornado
that's a
doesn't
really,
appear to be
really-
moving,
that
usually
makes you really
it's moving
cynical.
towards you. This illusion likely makes the team believe they are directly
And it's not
in
that
the
I don't
path,
have empathy,
helping the
Nicholas.
Weather
I have a
Channel
shit
convoy
ton of empathy
head
or I
south
wouldn't do what I
rather
do.
than stay put. The truth is, the tornado is now racing due east.
But you
at
have to face
55
reality at the
miles
same
per
time.
hour. But it's not just moving at 55
I
miles
want to
per
help
hour,
everybody
because
I
as well as
possibly
this,
can.
the
Everybody
tornado's
that I have an
size is
opportunity to help
expanding
in life
faster now
and give
than
a
any
hand up
tornado in
and
history.
contribute to
In
their
less than 60
success.
seconds, the
I
wind
want to
field
do that.
expands from 1 mile to
But at the
2
same time,
miles
I
in
want to
width.
see them
This
working
means
just
the
as hard, if
tornado
not
is
way harder
literally
than I am
expanding
to help them.
towards Highway 81 at 30 miles per hour. Combining these values, the tornado's forward speed is coming
I have this
directly
weird
at them at over 80
philosophy
miles
that
per hour. As the convoy
we are
begins
not
to
meant
drive
to be
south,
alone. We
they
are not
quickly
meant to be
realize their
islands. We are
mistake.
not meant
The
to be
rain begins to
solitary
clear,
and
once
hermits.
again, exposing the erratic multi-vortex
I think
core.
a
The funnel
functioning,
is smaller in
successful
size now,
society
but the contraction of the core has actually made the
is
winds
built by
stronger.
everybody doing their
Aerial
part for
imagery
each
from
other.
after the tornado
And it's not
shows the
communism
path
or
of scouring
socialism. We're
the
not going
tornado
that
was
far.
creating at this time. But even though the funnel is nearly a mile
But
away,
I believe in
the
community,
wind field is
and I
beginning
believe
to
in
cross the
everybody in
highway
a community
ahead of
looks
them.
out
They
and
pick up
helps
speed,
and lifts each
traveling
other up.
south at over 70 miles
I believe
per
that's
hour,
how
but
human
still,
nature should
the
be.
tornado is outpacing them.
We have to
Terror
counteract
rushes
our
as dozens of
self-preservation
voices sweep
instincts
towards
and
them.
our
It's
selfishness
now
and our
less than
greed
300 yards away.
and lift
Winds
each
into
other
the
up
storm
because we're
suddenly
stronger
spiked
when we
more
do
than
that.
120 miles per hour,
And that's my
lifting
empathy.
and slamming his car into the
I want to
central
do everything
divider
to help
before
everybody in
sucking
my
into
community
the
I
roadside
possibly
ditch.
can.
Behind him, that's filming.
But when you're doing that to somebody that doesn't help themselves, it's pointless. And what happens is they end up dragging you down with them. So I believe there's a line that, sooner or later you got to emphasize accountability and personal responsibility and consequences. Anyway, somebody else changed the subject. I've talked on this way too long,
just
and
before the winds.
like I said, I just don't want you guys to think I'm holier than thou, because I am definitely not that.
Overhead.
I am definitely not that. I spend most days fighting depression because I think I'm a giant pile of shit most of the time. And because of that, you guys in my chat have helped me
camera is ejected
with
from a window
my bouts of
upon
depression
impact,
and things of that sort.
The
I
Betsmobile can
appreciate
be
that.
seen rolling away with the 3 occupants still inside. To the north,
Some people get a
a
big
second
head
tour
because
group
they have a chat
operated by
community that
Randy
follows
Wilson
them.
is
I get
attempting to
leveled
navigate
by
through the
it.
traffic jam of chasers on Reno
It
Road. Their tour group is about 30 seconds ahead.
helps
of
me
Henderson.
overcome the
Instead of
negative
continuing
feelings that I have
east
for
of
myself.
Henderson, they turn north. 50 seconds later,
So
they approach the
you guys can
intersection
pat yourselves
of
on the
Highway
back for
81
that.
and a road named Reuter Road.
I've been
At this
going
exact
through a
same
lot of
time,
deep dark
the
shit here
Twist X crew
lately,
is
and
now
the fact that I have this
Highway
YouTube
81.
channel
Neither
is
Twist
helped me
X nor
overcome
Henderson are
a lot of
aware
really
of the
bad shit in
incredible
my head.
speeds at which the tornado has expanded
So
eastwards.
I'm
Tim says,
extremely
We're
grateful for
probably
that.
going to have to cross 81 if this road is good, and then try and drop down.
But
if we
I am
got
definitely
some
not a
viable
proud
roads.
person. I
They
am
pull up
well.
behind a
I'm
Toyota
proud of who I
Yaris.
am, and I'm
The
proud of my
driver
country, whatever.
is
But
storm chaser Dan Robinson. Robinson has a rear dash cam rolling.
I am
filming
not.
Twist X right behind
I am
him.
not conceited.
Robinson
I am
looks
not
south
full of
and
myself.
also sees the tornado crossing the highway.
I
This
believe I'm
convinces
right
him
most of the
to
time.
continue east onto Reuter Road.
I'm not gonna
Twist
lie at
X
that. I
decides
like to hear
the
myself
same.
talk,
Randy Walton
previous
Walton
league.
records Robinson's Yaris crossing 81, followed by the Twistex Cruise.
But I do it with
white
humility.
Chevrolet
I really
Cobalt.
do.
Walton and his group would have no clue they were recording the last
But anytime I
moments
tell
of the
anybody
Twistex
anything,
Cruise.
I do
Thinking
not
quickly,
discuss anything
Walton
that I
also
don't
decides
actually
to turn
know
onto
about.
Reuter
I
behind
really
them.
don't. I don't like to talk about things that I'm not knowledgeable of. And most of the time, I don't like to talk about things I don't have experience in. That was the whole reason. And one of the reasons I started going down to ice is because I was sitting here talking to people about it, and they're like, "Well, have you been down there? Do you actually know?" And I'm like, "Actually, no, you're right. I haven't. So I'm not going to talk about it anymore until I go down there and experience it."
This decision to turn around, without a doubt, saved their lives. But
And that's what started this channel.
To the south, Henderson
was me trying not to be a hypocrite.
The line of chasers on Reno Road. After the powerful core strikes the Weather Channel convoy,
talk about things I don't know.
To do something that no chaser was expecting. It begins.
So now I feel like I can honestly and legitimately discuss things that go on at ice because I'm there.
But it's also completely obscuring.
I've experienced it. I know
rapidly approaching
firsthand.
As far as he's
I'm not
aware,
relying on a live stream or somebody else's word or stories to tell me what happened. I live it.
The winds begin to roar and debris begins to pelt his vehicle. There is
so I feel like I'm
no time to react to what's happening.
I'm in the right and I'm okay to talk about
just
it.
Behind him, east of the intersection of Alpheldale and Reno Roads. His car is lifted and flung off the side of the road. He disappears into the darkness. Emily Sutton, a chaser just ahead of Robinson, films the core once again revealing itself. The funnel is a stovepipe shape, no more than 250 yards wide at its base.
Oh, trying to help the homeless people, Bourbon, is that what you're talking about?
Twist-X still can't see the tornado. Heavy rain to their south means it's essentially invisible.
Yeah, you can't give people stuff.
Its motion is impossible.
You can't give people stuff.
It's continuing eastward.
You can help people get stuff,
30 miles an hour,
but you can't just give them stuff.
An hour to the east.
It's in the Bible.
Tim is likely guessing here. As the
you give a man a fish, he eats for a day. You teach a man to fish, and he eats forever.
As the rain begins to clear, it's hard to discern what exactly is to their south.
No, I see it. Well,
that is a very, very, very.
Tim looks up the road. Dan Robinson's car is just ahead.
Deep parable. It sounds really simple, but it's not.
He glances
There's
back
so many layers to that
where the funnel is beginning to reveal itself.
People
the
don't
air around it
stop
grows,
to think about.
Quote, eerily calm.
There's no rain here.
Just think about his fish and eating.
I think we're in a bad
But there's
spot.
so many levels
These
and layers to that parable
that
it's crazy.
We have of the Twist-X crew before the camera recording cuts off. It had used all of its storage, but at this point, the tornado is 90 seconds away. Robinson's rear dash cam continues to capture the white Chevy Cobalt. He also begins to realize what's happening.
I didn't realize it turned on this video. This is that video.
The car won't go. I've got to get out of whatever this is. The car just isn't going.
Twist-X's Chevy, with less power than Robinson's Toyota, falls behind him. The rear dash cam captures the car disappearing from a pair of headlights to a single speck of light.
That's craziness right
there. A tiny speck of light is extinguished. The wall of darkness has consumed the road. Oklahoma Highway Patrol Officer Betsy Randolph is nearby and is listening to her radio when she hears a disturbing shout. "We're going to die. We're going to die." The transmission went dead immediately afterwards.
Yeah, most people don't understand or don't know
that
the movies Twister and Twisters, the newer one,
by the time Robinson pulls clear of the
are actually based on like real stories of things that have happened to storm chasers, and
the rain
it's craziness, man. They're insane.
Of the disgusting monster.
People like Reed Timmer is one of the is probably the most insane one out there.
The mobile radar truck from
He's one of my heroes, but he's literally
on Interstate 40.
He's literally got some screws loose up there
to
do the stuff he does.
Incredible. Inside the circulation, wind speeds of 296 miles per hour, the second highest wind speeds ever, are measured. Moments later, a satellite tornado arcs around the south side of the main one.
290, almost 300 mile per hour winds. Can you imagine that?
Forward speed ever recorded for a tornado.
Gee, Christmas, that's insane.
Close to
almost 300 mile an hour.
It continues moving northeast.
Most of us can't even fathom
to begin
300 mile an hour
on I-40. But here, they realize the magnitude of the disaster that is about to unfold. I-40 is a major highway.
I agree, Bourbon.
Packed with
I agree.
civilians and storm chasers.
That is a very, very true statement right
EF5
there.
Tornado with winds approaching 300 miles per hour here could kill hundreds.
What you doing out there?
If the tornado continues to track east, it will enter Oklahoma City. Panic begins to ensue.
I'm glad you said to sleep.
Oklahoma City metro area.
I said I'm glad you said to sleep. All I heard you say was I almost had a baby.
From the EF5
I'm like, wait, what?
The week before, an even larger storm is closing in on the city. The panic only worsens the mob of cars congesting the interstate.
Not happening.
Even when the situation
I like my shirt
seems
says.
like it couldn't get any worse, the lead newscaster for the metro, Mike Morgan, says this live on air.
Need to be. If you can go south right now, if you don't feel safe, go south. Get out of its way. Reed Timmer is on that. Reed, what do you have?
This dire language prompts tens of thousands more to attempt to flee the
So
area.
just curious,
But
who are the
south,
6 people that
Benny
are still in
areas
here with
already
me? Y'all want to
heavily
drop a
congested
name in the
traffic
chat so
to
I
a
know who's still with me?
complete standstill.
Who's hanging out
Thousands are
listening to
now
me
stuck
blubber
in
like
the
I'm some
path
kind of preacher
of
or
this
something?
massive, violent tornado.
Who are the 6
Its
people
erratic
still here in
movement
chat?
means forecasters have no idea what it's about to do next. If it continues eastward, it will follow I-40, where hundreds of cars are stuck. The outcome of a violent tornado hitting this traffic jam could be a death toll in the hundreds. The tornado is once again hidden by rain as it approaches I-40. Subvortices still sweep around the main circulation, one of which swipes a small neighborhood of homes. Fortunately, the fast-forward speed of the subvortex spares total destruction of the area. As the tornado crosses I-40, it loops before heading due east. Following the interstate, hundreds of cars and structures are now in the path. And beyond the interstate, the densely populated suburbs of the Oklahoma City metro are now in direct sight. It's not long until chaos begins to ensue on the interstate. Numerous 18-wheeler trucks were
Bourbon's still
toppled,
here,
people's
Louise
cars were picked up
still
and
here.
rolled, and while many were able to survive, this
Are there
look
other
would
lives
not
going on
last.
right now, Lewis?
Maria Martin, her husband, and their 3
That why I
children
have so little
had
people,
pulled
or is
over
it
the
just because I'm
minivan
droning
onto
on?
the side of the interstate, hoping the tornado would pass by.
You say you're jumping around. Is there other lives
The
happening?
children were still inside the vehicle, injured but alive. Maria and her 17-day-old baby passed away. Just as the core of the tornado inches near the highway, a miracle seems to occur. The circulation begins to become increasingly messy and is weakening. Within a couple of seconds, the tornado would
sorry about the
disappear
yawning.
into nothing. As the storm passes,
This is literally the
law
middle of the night
enforcement
for
and
me.
chasers comb over the damage path, racing nightfall to try and help those affected by the tornado. Fortunately, no structures were hit by the strongest winds of the tornado. If they had, EF5 damage could have easily been inflicted and more people could have died. But the real tragedies that occurred during the tornado were in
Look at that car in the middle of the
along
field.
Highway 81 and I-40. Dozens of cars have been flipped
That's a
or
truck.
rolled, but so far, no deaths.
That's a heavy.
are
That's like
reported.
probably a
Canadian
7,000
County
pound
Sheriff's
truck that
deputy
just got
Doug
tossed
Green
around.
is one of the people assisting in search and rescue. He drives down Reuter Road when he spies something in a canola patch. He approaches the mangled heap of metal to find the body of
Oh,
Tim
Nicholas
Samaras.
still here.
By the next
Nice.
morning, the bodies of Paul Samaras and
Oh,
Carl
you're watching
Young have also
NASCAR. I
been
heard.
recovered
I haven't
after
looked
they
yet, but I
found
heard Cletus
ejected
almost
from the
won
vehicle.
yesterday.
Soon, Richard Henderson is also added
But they
to
weren't
the
going to
list
let
of
him race
fatalities attributed to
cup
the tornado,
cars.
making the official death toll 8. Before today, no tornado had ever killed a storm chaser, but this one alone had killed 4, including a veteran chase group. Tim Samaras was well respected in the chase community, and although his work involved
Okay, Lewis,
venturing
I'm
close
really
to
trying
one
to
of the
figure out what
most
you're saying
dangerous
here.
places on the planet,
And
he was
that last
regarded as someone who
correction
always
didn't
put
really
safety
correct.
first. But the record-breaking and
Rack,
erratic
tot,
nature
rack.
of this tornado meant that no chaser was safe, and has become a historic
Oh, Ground
footnote
Zero's
in
live
how
again.
little we
Oh, Mr.
understand
Bill went on.
about the behavior of tornadoes.
And the Zach guy. Yeah, that explains why I don't have that many people here then.
It's May 3rd, 1999.
I tried to go on at a time when nobody else was on, but I've been on for a while now, so I was bound to run into that eventually.
Ever recorded consume the city in front of him.
Oh my gosh.
It's 1999, and it's been 6 years since the state of Oklahoma had seen a single violent tornado. Despite being the tornado capital of the world, areas such as Canada and Massachusetts had seen much stronger tornadoes in leading years. While some saw this as good news, others knew the potential Oklahoma had, and that the good luck
I really
would
should
run
be out
out
there doing some
eventually.
yard work today,
May
but
is peak
I don't really
season
have
for
the energy.
tornadoes in Oklahoma,
Yeah.
and even though the state had been on a
I've only
good
got a
luck
few
streak,
people left in here, and most of them are
forecasters
doing
at the
something
National
else and have me on in the background.
coincidentally, here in Oklahoma, we're still on high alert. And the first week of May looked like nothing out of the ordinary. A strong low pressure system stretched across the western edge of the United States, but this system actually seemed like a bust for tornadoes. Forecasters rely on weather models, which are mathematical predictions of the future, to make predictions themselves. And the models really showed nothing special occurring. Essentially, from the computer's
Great.
perspective,
Watch out,
Oklahoma
cats.
seems to have lucked out once again. May 3rd, 1999. It's a typical Monday in the plains. The massive metroplex of Oklahoma City wakes up to begin the day. And if anything, feels like the opposite of a tornado day. Instead of a hot, muggy morning with little clouds and tons of warnings, a brisk breeze underneath a calm blanket of clouds.
Isn't it weird how the tornadoes never go through major cities like that? They always hit the outskirts. I've always wondered why that is.
Was almost secretly strengthening above. This strength was rapidly shoving warm, moist air from miles away into central Oklahoma. Comparing the models to what was actually happening this morning, the forecasters realized something. Essentially, every computer
and I think it has to do with heat
excessive
islands too,
errors,
but I'm not
under predicting ingredients tornado outbreaks thrive on, the very ingredients that were rapidly coming together. Hope of a normal Monday continued to dwindle. The clouds above were slowly peeling back, and by early afternoon, the atmosphere was quite literally a loaded gun, ready to be fired. I want to take a brief moment to thank the sponsor of today's video, NordVPN. In today's digital age, online
I saw
privacy
that.
and security are more crucial than ever.
Yeah, it's
And
because of the
NordVPN
circular
can help
wind.
protect your online presence. A VPN is essentially a private shield for the things you do online. With military-grade encryption, your internet connection remains secure.
Oh,
whether
come on
you're
with the
using
ads.
public
Why are we
Wi-Fi
watching the
or your
ads?
home
I don't want to
network.
watch the ads.
Nord has tons of unique features that separate disaster about to unfold. The National Weather Service upgraded their thunderstorm outlook to a high risk across the majority of Oklahoma at 4 o'clock, just 10 minutes after
Path of least
upgrading the
resistance,
risk.
yeah.
Meteorologists noticed tiny specks on radar near the Texas and Oklahoma border. The small showers were moving to the northeast at a relatively slow 25 miles per hour. One of the specks, near Lawton, Oklahoma, was starting to get bigger, and even though it had developed just 30 minutes prior, rotation was beginning to occur within the storm. At 4:40 p.m., not even an hour after the storm popped up, it produced its first 2 tornadoes. 2 very weak EF0s north of Lawton. Within a couple of minutes, the storm began to get larger and rotate faster, and soon the 3rd tornado of the storm would strike. And the first significant one, the F3 tornado near Stecker, Oklahoma, completely destroyed a single home before disappearing. This trend was becoming very concerning, as with every new tornado, the damage was getting stronger. A couple minutes later, another strong F3 would touch down near Chickasha. Val and Amy Castor, storm chasers for the Channel News 9, would capture it.
Oh, fuck.
I see big pieces of debris flying through the air. Visual of it, it's only about a half a mile down the road from us. It is definitely a wedge. I mean, based on visual, it's at least an F3. It's at least an F3, Gary. We've got debris hitting us at the side of the truck from the west winds wrapping around it.
As the tornado began to become smaller, a thin satellite tornado was captured orbiting the main circulation.
And this and that one is getting bigger. The other one is getting bigger too, much bigger.
Just a few minutes later, another storm chaser, Oliver Smith, would capture the tornado, disappearing once again.
That's crazy how they're so unpredictable.
But of course, just as the F3 dissipates, the storm spins up a new area of rotation. This time, it was quite disorganized. A thin, wispy F2 over the Chickasha, Oklahoma airport. Despite being relatively weak, it was able to damage multiple of the buildings on the property before again lifting. Something different was observed from this F2, however, as although quite thin, the core of the vortex began digging up swaths.
It's because they have a network,
soil,
Nicholas.
a process known as ground scouring.
There's a huge connection between the different factions all around the country. Atlanta,
from the storm,
Minneapolis,
level of damage.
Baltimore, New York, Boston, Portland, Seattle, LA.
Scary to think
They're
about.
all connected.
Unfortunately, the residents of central Oklahoma would get the answer to this question. Stretching out from Oklahoma City lies Interstate 44.
And they network with each other
Along the
constantly.
interstate are multiple overpasses that connect the road to other communities. Communities such as Amber and Bridge Creek, Oklahoma. Near an overpass east of Amber, storm chaser
And somebody's got to be paying the bills, because you can't tell me that these losers that have no jobs and no anything can find their way back and forth across the country all the time. Somebody's got to be paying for
As
something.
the storm's base comes into their view, they notice something. Broad rotation encompasses the clouds, almost like the entire storm is trying to spin. Mike begins to film what he's seeing. Cloudy tentacles of dust begin to swirl sporadically under the clouds before a thin funnel takes over. It's not long before the funnel lifts up, but as Mike zooms out, something terrifying.
Yep, there's always that element in there somewhere.
Underneath the entire cloud.
And even if you don't see it, it's lurking right underneath the surface. The element is always there.
Over half a mile wide. The rotation
because they're taught that it's worth it.
It's clear something is very
Somebody convinces them that it's worth it.
The new tornado's track
their message
is already incredibly wide
that they're trying to get across is worth those kind of tactics.
Strengthens slightly as trees are ripped up and small farm buildings are destroyed. David Payne is chasing for the news station KOCO. As he and his partner drive down the interstate, they notice a sudden change in the tornado's look.
Near Amber. The ground again, and what you're looking at there is a violent, rapidly rotating tornado, estimated width there about an eighth to maybe a quarter of a mile wide. And again, winds in there approaching 200 miles an hour. Where we are, we have winds flowing into the tornado right now at about that.
Within just a couple of seconds, the wispy tendrils conglomerate into a massive and violent wedge tornado. At the same time, the tornado begins to strengthen rapidly. Ground scouring appears once again as the grass is dug away in a swirling pattern underneath the tornado. Except this time, it's not in the middle of fields. It approaches its first target, a small subdivision of homes along Dewey Edwards Drive. As it approaches, houses not even in the core are damaged, and as it crosses over the road, 4 homes are leveled to the ground. Their debris is thrown into a tree line to their east, which is mangled and shredded. Within just a few minutes, the tornado had become incredibly violent. Mike Duncan is still filming. He watches as the wedge tornado morphs in shape, while quickly rotating. Soon, another shift in the tornado's appearance occurs.
Where are we at on this? No, we still got a ways.
Within just a couple of seconds, the tornado falls apart before coming back even stronger. Past the subdivision of homes, the tornado continues, where it's now heading directly for the community of Bridge Creek, Oklahoma. The monster now most likely has some of the strongest winds conceivable on Earth. The tornado has no intentions of lifting as it crosses through multiple fields, beelining straight for the first road of Bridge Creek, County Road 2948. As it crosses, the forward speed of the tornado begins to slow down slightly, allowing the tornado to slowly crawl over the neighborhoods. Within just a few minutes, the area would be scrubbed off the earth. Trees in the core of the tornado were ripped out of their root systems and tossed. Unfortunately, this area of Bridge Creek was very poor, and almost every single structure impacted was a mobile home, making it even easier for the tornado to wipe everything away. The rest of the southwest side of Bridge Creek felt the same destruction. The tornado carved into the earth as it expanded to almost an entire mile wide. One of the homes destroyed was the Crago family home. In the destruction, Catherine Crago was killed. Her daughter, Amy, survived though, and Amy's 11-month-old baby was tossed into a field and caked in mud. The moment an officer discovered her was captured on camera.
Man, that's a miracle right there, huh? What?
Exited the first
There's a
neighborhood
baby that got
crossing
tossed like a mile
slowly
into a
crawling
field
towards its
during a
next
tornado.
neighborhood. A
And
subdivision
she
along
survived.
Red Rock
Got
Road.
ripped out of her
The
mom's
damage
hands
here
and tossed.
was almost
And
insurmountable.
a deputy found
The
her.
tough red clay that covered the area was completely dug up. Every single home in the neighborhood was swept cleanly away. A large portion of the asphalt road, over an inch thick, was ripped away here as well. Moving to the northeast, more rural subdivisions felt the wrath of the winds. Large homes were continuously swept away, and mobile homes practically disappeared. The most striking damage was not just the homes and structures though. Some of the most extreme vehicle damage ever documented occurred near the southwest area of Bridge Creek. One truck had all of its insides gutted before it was wrapped like a blanket around a telephone pole, all the while being caked in copious amounts of dirt. Practically no grass remained in the core of the tornado, making the damaged areas appear more like a drought than a tornado. Tree lines were mangled down to the ground, stripped of their bark, and sprayed with bits of cars, homes, and
Yeah, it's been happening for years. Now that we have so many live streamers and people videoing everything, now it's really easier to point it out. But it's been happening for a long time. They travel all over the place. They're professional protesters.
Continuing, the tornado impacted a large brick home. This home was very well anchored, and as the vortex passed, it was turned into dust. The only thing remaining on the property was a slab swept perfectly clean, and small bushes and trees sandpapered of their bark. These images would depict some of the worst tornado damage ever documented. Continuing through Bridge Creek, home after home and field after field was reduced to nothing. Mike Duncan films as two large vehicles pass him. These vehicles are nicknamed Dow 1 and Dow 2. Dow standing for Doppler on wheels, essentially a Doppler weather radar attached to a moving vehicle. The vehicles allow researchers to get radars incredibly close to storms, which in turn allow them to collect important scientific data, such as wind speeds inside of tornadoes. The Dow trucks are currently scanning the air, and what they see is terrifying. Sustained winds of over 200 miles per hour are being logged, some of the strongest readings ever seen inside a tornado. As the tornado exits Bridge Creek, meteorologists begin to realize the severity of the situation. The tornado has shown no sign of stopping and is now beelining straight for the Oklahoma City metro, a massive city with hundreds of thousands of people. With death and damage updates slowly trickling through from Bridge Creek, the potential was realized. Something more dire than a tornado warning had to be issued. At 6:57 p.m., the first ever tornado emergency is issued for the cities of Moore, Oklahoma City, and the surrounding metro. The warning read, "Tornado emergency in South Oklahoma City metro area." At 6:57 p.m.
Have a good rest of your day, Lewis. Thanks for hanging out, bud.
Along Interstate 44, west of Newcastle.
Hopefully she'll forget about it. Well, she seemed pretty young, so she probably will. I think it's the mom that's going to suffer from that more.
The Oklahoma City metro area between 7:15 and 7:30 p.m. People in Moore and South Oklahoma City should take immediate tornado precautions. This is an extremely dangerous and life-threatening situation. If you are in the path of this large and destructive tornado, take cover immediately. This wording is some of the most frightening ever written in a tornado warning. Mike Duncan and the Dow trucks are still following the vortex along Interstate 44, and notice it becomes increasingly wrapped in rain and debris. The tornado here is now practically invisible. As it engulfs more and more dirt, it begins to turn into a murky brown. Suddenly, a funnel starts to emerge from the rain. Something strange from within the storm is occurring. The path begins to shrink and become more erratic, and as the smaller vortex emerges from the clouds, its violent motion becomes apparent. The tornado begins to slow down, almost to the brink of stationary. The Dow trucks point the radar directly towards the funnel, and what they see is mind-blowing. The radar measures wind gusts in excess of 330 miles per hour, meaning the tornado now has the strongest winds ever measured on planet Earth. Unfortunately, this would occur in the absolute worst spot, as the tornado is now sitting directly over one of the overpasses on Interstate 44. Underneath the overpass, two men, a mother and her son, climb underneath the girders to shelter from the winds. The mother,
not supposed to do
Walton,
that,
feels the winds accelerating upon them, and as the metal girders bend and squeal, she shields her son Levi with her body. Kathleen would be sucked from underneath and killed. She was described as a loving mother and generous to a fault. As the rest of the group climbed out, caked in mud, Levi was heard screaming, "Where's my mom?" Kathleen was a single mother and described as all Levi had. This horrific narrative, sadly, was not unique. Dozens of deaths were now coming in from Bridge Creek as well, and the tornado was destroying homes and families, and it had no plans of slowing down. In fact, it looked like the worst was yet to come. Underneath another overpass, another mother and her children,
Go
Tammy
under a
Hogan,
bridge.
and her 2 young daughters sat trying to save themselves from the tornado. Miraculously, the sporadic path meandered slightly to their south, sparing them from the same fate as the Waltons. A journalist was also sheltering near them and snapped another incredible image of the tornado leaving the scene. The sporadic nature of the tornado becomes even more apparent as it approaches the north side of Newcastle, Oklahoma. The vortex continues to thin out while still digging up the ground. Storm researcher Tim Marshall records as the vortex turns into a pronounced tube and crosses the road in front of him.
Turn it this way, turn it this way, turn it to the other way, please.
The other this way.
As the storm approaches the Canadian River, another feature appears. A satellite tornado, far from the main one, touches down, dancing aimlessly in the field. The strange behavior from the storm could
Man,
mean
that's wicked
that it's
looking.
getting ready to dissipate, but in reality, it's doing anything but dissipating. As it crosses the Canadian River, Tim watches the tornado suddenly and rapidly grow in size. The water and mud it picks up from the river fill up its entire windfield, creating a wall of darkness simultaneously. Jim Gardiner, the helicopter operator for K4, ascends his helicopter into the sky, and despite the strong winds and dark conditions, he's determined to broadcast the monster to the people of Oklahoma City. As he finds his bearings and tilts the helicopter towards the south, he sees the monster in its entirety approaching the city.
We're getting a lot of turbulence here, Mike. We're right on the edge of it. The winds are just incredible when we went into Westheimer. There's no power at all. Mercy vehicles running around. There is no power on the southwest side by Oklahoma City Will Rogers World Airport.
At the exact same time as Leroy, reporter Dan Anderson finds an open area off the interstate in the suburbs of Moore in Oklahoma City and begins to film the tornado from inside the metro.
South of Crossroads Mall, you're looking toward the south, and there's the large tornado on the ground now moving through.
The people of Oklahoma are now watching the strongest tornado of all time as it begins to devastate their communities, the first of which was a group of homes on the outskirts of Moore. The tornado never ceases to carve the ground, and it continues to grow in size, crossing the intersection of Drexel Avenue and Southwest 149 Street. Multiple large, well-built homes are cored directly and destroyed. Its path is still rather sporadic, making strange twists and turns as it regains its bearings and widens. A group of homes on Highway 37 are the next target, being directly impacted. Every single home in the neighborhood sustains some level of damage, including a handful that are swept off their foundations. It's almost like the tornado decided to grow massively in size,
Completely
and shape
freaking
right
gone.
as it entered the city. Now, with every inch the tornado travels, the areas it impacts will become more and more populated. The tornado meanders through a small field, mauling a tree line before the wedge begins to engulf the East Lake Estates neighborhood.
Ooh, that's a lot of
Rows
houses.
of exceptionally well-constructed homes are wiped away, in some cases heaving up pipes and plumbing from within.
Yeah, they do
the
that out here a lot.
foundation.
And
The
it goes,
scale of the devastation
we're supposed to
in
get
the
a new
neighborhood
bridge over
is
the
mind-boggling.
Columbia on
Despite
I-5,
both being
and
in interior rooms,
they've
inside
gone
of
through
bathrooms
probably millions of
of
dollars
well-built
now just
homes,
talking about
2
it, drawing
people
it, planning
died
it,
in East Lake
whatever. Nothing's
Estates.
been done for
As
the
the
last
tornado exited the
10,
neighborhood,
15
it
years.
brushed the Westmore High School, ripping off portions of the roofing. Several cars were thrown here and mangled beyond recognition. As it leaves the neighborhood, it crosses over Southwestern Avenue. Across the road sits the Emerald Springs apartment complex. Many tornadoes have struggled to fully destroy multi-story apartment buildings due to how large and reinforced they are, but not this tornado. Several 2-story tall structures from within the complex are reduced to their slabs, killing 3 people who attempted to shelter inside. Crossing a tree line to the northeast, a subdivision of newly built townhomes lie. The tornado does not spare these either, again wiping multiple off their foundations. Back in the sky, Jim struggles to capture the entire tornado from his helicopter, but power flashes near the base.
Yeah, a lot of our
indicate
roads out here are
electrical
absolutely
lines
horrible.
and
ODOT
transformers
does a
explode,
miserable job
creating
of
zero
upkeep.
doubt that the tornado was consuming the neighborhoods. Past a field, the vortex crosses over North Santa Fe Avenue into more large residential areas of Moore, Oklahoma. Damage still does not falter. Hundreds of homes were destroyed or swept clean away.
That's
and the tornado's
insanity.
funnel filled more and more with granulated bits of cars, homes, and dirt. At one home, a safe anchored to the foundation is ripped away and tossed like a toy, and more plumbing is ripped from the ground as distorted cars impact now empty foundations. Somehow, the vortex is still going. It approaches the main road of Moore, Interstate 35. Here, Dan Anderson watches as the tornado emerges, and he captures one of the most iconic pieces of tornado media ever.
Outages because these storms are moving into the metro area. We're going to have
Let's stay with
occasionally
that
some
shot. Look at the debris.
interruptions.
Look at all the debris. Look at all the debris in the air. Folks, please, we plead with you. You absolutely have got to get down. Get to the lowest level you possibly can. We plead with you. Do not take the extra minute or two. We plead with you. Space, please. We plead with you. Go to your safe spot now. Take your radio. Forget the live pictures. Go get safe. Oh my gosh.
89, South 89.
Folks, we plead with you. Just go to your safe spot if you possibly can. That's an F. Look at the horizontal vortex. That is an F4 to an F5 tornado. That's winds of 250 miles an hour.
All right, we're asking our crew right now to shut down, get out, and get out of there. This is a dangerous situation.
Across the interstate, the neighborhood of Highland Park was enveloped the same as
The
every
PDS,
area previously.
particularly
At
dangerous
this point,
situation.
The tornado was full of so much debris that it was more akin to a massive blender than just tornadic winds. This blending allowed large trees to be sandpapered once again, leaving them as a skeleton of bare wood. Cars were perpetually tossed like toys, and some of the worst vehicle damage occurred here. Near the edge of the neighborhood, a very large home was completely swept away, with essentially nothing left. The photo became one of the most iconic tornado damage images, but reports are conflicting on if this was done by the tornado or a rumored house fire before the tornado. Whatever the case may be, it seems likely this level of damage could have easily been done by the vortex. By this point, the tornado had traveled over 30 miles straight and had caused consistent, mind-blowing damage to everything it touched. However, the worst of the devastation was possibly just to come. Just a couple miles to the northeast, the projected path was now aiming straight for a large trailer home park. If large brick homes were failing to sustain the winds of the tornado, the death and destruction to a packed community of mobile homes.
That's
would
why we
be
call them tornado
indescribable.
magnets.
As the tornado continued to approach, a miracle seemed to occur. The path began to slightly curve to the north. However, the new track was now heading potentially towards something worse. Along Highway 240 to the north, several industrial warehouses and metal buildings were placed. One of the buildings, American Freightways, held dozens of employees, all hunkering down as the tornado approached them. As the winds impacted the area, trucks and metal equipment began to be slammed and tossed violently. Mud splattered against the debris as the ground continued to be dug up. Unfortunately, 2 employees would die in the impact. The tornado continued to the north, curving towards the community of Del Air. Just like every community that came before, the neighborhood was obliterated and 6 people died. To the east sat the Tinker Air Force Base, where hundreds of Air Force residents stayed. In a stroke of luck, the tornado continued to curve to the north, just barely missing the base. After the base, the tornado began to shrink once again, but it also began to weaken slightly. The first time we had seen a substantial weakening since the tornado touched down. It crosses over more industrial buildings, only partially destroying them. As it crosses Interstate 40, a neighborhood to the north of the highway would be the next target. and the destruction remained devastating, killing 3 people. Finally, without any warning, the damage would cease. The tornado had lifted, and the carnage ended with it. Over 36 people would be found deceased, with over 500 significantly injured, making it the deadliest tornado in over 50 years. One survivor was uninjured, but unfortunately died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound in reaction to losing his home in the tornado. The storm continued to the northeast. It produced a weak and brief F2 tornado before completely fizzling away, as if it had expended all the energy it had into the earth.
On your FM dial on 104.1, 107.7, that is damage. Okay.
Yes. Go ahead, Jim.
Mike.
Yes.
You got to look at this. This is phenomenal. It's gone. The neighborhood is gone. We are over a neighborhood just west of Tinker Air Force Base. It is gone, Mike. I'm just following the swath of where this went. It's probably at least a quarter mile wide.
Oh.
Here, look at this. It's the whole neighborhood, Mike. The whole neighborhood is gone.
Those that are listening on radio, we're looking at damage of what was a neighborhood. Unfortunately, it looks now.
It's totally destroyed.
It is. Boy, I'm almost speechless. It's absolutely incredible. These are homes that are no longer homes.
No roofs,
just scattered debris for miles and miles. Dangerous.
Man, it looks like a landfill with some roads through it.
The outbreak as a whole would be one of the most extreme ever, including an F4 tornado that, despite missing the town of Mulhall, was still wide enough to completely level half of it. May 3rd, 1999 would become one of the most infamous days in tornado history and would seal central Oklahoma as a tornado hotspot. Thank you for watching.
Oh. Well, guys, I don't know if you heard, but I'm starting to feel crappy again. My cough is coming back, and I probably need to take a nap before work, so I think I'm going to shut this down here. For those of you who are still hanging out, I really appreciate it. I see Nicholas, Bourbon Rose. Not sure who else is still here, but thank you guys for hanging out. Like I said, I'm really tired all of a sudden, so I gotta rest up a little before I go to work tonight. So again, I appreciate you guys hanging out. And had a whole list of things we were probably going to talk about, but I don't think I got to half of them. We ended up on this tornado thing, and I got as wrapped up as you guys. I'm sitting here watching it right along with you guys. But yeah, I think I'm gonna go ahead and cut this. I appreciate you guys hanging out. I said that already. I think everybody still in here is already liked and subscribed, so that'd be stupid to say that. But I'm gonna try to get back to doing more and do more live streams and getting more on current recent events when they happen. Like I said, just been going through some health stuff, so that's why I haven't been on here as much as normal. But you guys bounced right back and came and watched me on a Sunday afternoon, so I'm very, very grateful for that. But anyways, I don't know how to rate anybody or anything like that, but it sounds like there's plenty others that are live right now. For years here, brick homes have been built with brick panels. No one knew until a small tornado exposed that. Right? Yeah. They're just actually wooden houses. Isn't that kind of creepy? Okay, guys. I am going to go take a nap. And I will see you guys on the next episode. In the meantime, enjoy life and Patreon on. What does that say? We can't always see you later. Don't hurt yourself. Yeah. I might join somebody else's live later or something like that. Who knows? I'll pop up in the weirdest places. All right, man. I appreciate you guys. You guys rock. And I will see you next time.